No, there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross. I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Said I might be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like Kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, people? Welcome to Tottenham Away. It's the Matchday Late Live show. Spurs have beaten Burnley 2-1, back to winning ways, 3 points, much needed after the 4 defeats that we had to deal with over the past few weeks. But look, it was a much needed win. Didn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things, other than kind of securing Europa Cup for next season. Champions League's probably gone. But look, it's always good to win. And it takes a bit of pressure off of us, because I think a lot of Spurs fans do want us to not necessarily beat Man City. And by winning today, it kind of gives us that little buffer we wanted going into the game. So look, we'll get into it. We'll dissect it. We'll talk about it. But for me, I was at the game and it was just a bit boring and not much really to get excited about, because the season kind of ended a while back, I think. But Dan, you were watching it from home or at the pub, wherever you were watching it from. How did you feel going into the game? You know, what was the vibe for you? It was a weird one. This is a weird one for us.
Yeah. Well, when it come for the game coming up, it's like I said, as long as we lose against City, I couldn't really care much about the other two games. This one, the only reason that I was bothered whether we win it or not really was for the fact that we've lost 4 in the trot. And last thing we need to do now is make it 5. I fell asleep at the start, and then they scored the goal. That sort of half woke me up, and then pretty much watched the game from there, basically. I saw one good save that Fukaro made at the start, where we could have been 1 down straight away. But yeah, quite a average game. Up front, I thought useless again. Midfield, bang average. Maddison finally jumps out and looks like he's had a half decent game, and he's taken it to come up against Burnley to do that. And I thought our best ones were our defence overall. Best players on the pitch and the best finishers. That finisher by Van der Ven, as good as any striker. Better than ours anyway.
I know. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Mari, how are you feeling going into this game? Was it weird for you as well, or was it just, were you excited?
Yeah, it was. Because you guys know I've said I've been checked out, so I went in watching the game. Say, okay, I need to have the content of just watching the game, and so I woke up. I actually woke up a couple of hours before, strange enough, to watch the Fulham City game, and then going into the game. For me, it was just, I've said this word, I'm going to steal it from the box office, boring. There were some good performances. I mean, Micky Van der Ven, I know we're going to probably talk to him. I thought the back line played better, him, Romero, Pedro Porro, Skip, not so great. My opinion, the midfield, stepped up, but we were playing Burnley. So for me, it was just really ho-hum. Like, I just watched the game when we were down 1-0. I was just like, we can't keep a clean sheet. This is going to probably be 5 straight losses in a row. but
it was looking that way.
Yeah, it was looking like and for his sake, Anne's sake, I'm like, boy, if we lose 5 in a row, Burnley, and we know we're gonna lose the City. Like, it's already broken loose. And so, Pedro Porro with the shot, I was like, yes. I wasn't as excited as much as I am because part of me is checked out. So we won 2-1. Nothing major to take out of it other than, okay, we're going to Europa League, But other than that, we're going to get our ass whooped by City. Whoever is the most positive in the Spurs community, I'm telling you now, they're on something, because I saw the Fulham was supposed to be a trap game, a difficult game on the road at Fulham, and they got their ass kicked. Like, their ass got whooped, Fulham, and so I think it's not going to be good for us on Tuesday. So
hopefully it's not, right. We don't want. Well, actually, it depends what happens at Old Trafford tomorrow. I think that will kind of decide how we feel about it. But look, we'll get into the game. There was one question here. Oh, by the way, sorry guys, I should have done it from the beginning. I'm feeling so tired today. I'm slacking here, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all. Smash the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff. I hope all of you in the chat watch the game as well, so you can engage with us and talk about the match as we go through it. Shot Skis says, Stel, what was the mood of the fans at the stadium in this match? Well, look, the sun was out, London was hot, so everyone was out. The bars, the queues for the drinks were packed. People were drinking beer, socializing, because it was a sunny day out. So it wasn't just a football match, it was a day out. And even after the game, it was busy around the area, people hanging around, drinking in beer gardens. So I think fans were in a good mood because of the weather. And then the game itself, Yeah, fans were in good spirit, but it's hard to get up for it when there's not much to play for, and the football's okay, right? The football's not great. It's not rubbish. It's okay, and I think it's a weird one. But the atmosphere was good at half time, and I'll tell you why. We'll get when we get to it. And the atmosphere was good after the game when the players came out to do an appreciation lap, which I'll also get into as we dissect it all. But boys, let's get into it.
I am so sorry. I have to step away. I may jump back on to the show.
Mari, you go. Me and Dan can hold the fort. No problem.
All right.
Take care, Mari.
All right.
So, guys, make sure you subscribe to Dan E, the Hotspur Hood, as well. Dan, when you saw the starting lineup, Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Skip, Saar, Basuma, Maddison, Kulu, Son, and Johnson. Now, the big one was Oliver Skip playing at left wing back. The second big one was Maddison coming back into the squad. So Bentancur dropped, and we actually played with a number 10. And then the front three, Kulusevski, Son, and Johnson. Richarlison injured. I didn't know that until the actual lineup came out. I wasn't aware he was injured, but there you go. What did you make of the midfield decision to bring back Maddison? And what did you make of the decision to start Oliver Skip at left back?
Nothing really surprised me in what he picked. I mean, I thought Richarlison might start, and then literally found out just before the game started that he was injured, same as you. Nothing really surprised me in the midfield. I thought, yeah, all right, Lo Celso would have been a good chance to give him a go, but either way, the only one that I could say honestly surprised me on there was Skip going into left back. And all right, I know he'd done okay doing that in the past game, but yeah, that was the one that I definitely thought, mate, what are you actually doing here? And I was just thinking, what must Dragusin be sitting there thinking at the moment? Like, I can get it if you don't want to move Van de Ven over, but what must he be thinking at the moment when Skip gets in the defensive position over him? I think that was the only thing that caught me, really, the fact that Skip was left back. The rest of it was nothing unexpected as such.
Super chat here from Bedknobs and Broomsticks. We need an upgrade for Kulu. He's so ineffective. We are going to get on to Kulu. Don't you worry about that, Bedknobs. Thank you for the super chat. 100% we need to discuss Kulusevski. For me, with the starting lineup, I didn't like the idea of Skip starting at left back. I thought Liverpool took their foot off the gas the second half. So saying Skip was, played really well. It's just we do this as Spurs fans. We just jump on anything trendy, anything different, and we hype it up. I personally thought today Skip did not do well in that position. I thought he got caught out a few times, and we're lucky. In fact, their goal was massively down to him. But again, he's not a wing back. Yet with 10 minutes to go, Dragusin comes on, Van de Ven goes left back, and we look more attacking. I don't understand. I don't understand why we start like that, or why he started with Skip. The only argument, Dan, is that people say, oh, but because Skip's a midfielder and our fullbacks invert, he'll be good at inverting because he's a midfielder. But then I counter that by saying, but he's not a very good midfielder. So
he's not a very good player.
So, it is a difficult one. As for the midfield, look, I'm getting pissed off that Lo Celso doesn't get game time. I just don't get it. I don't understand what Lo Celso's done wrong to not start for us. And when he did come on today, his touches were tidy. Maddison was... I'm struggling because he had some good moments, but then he lets himself down. Like, there's one moment where he ran in on goal. He beats the players one-on-one with the goal. You're like, shoot. But he gets even closer. And by the time he gets close to where he's comfortable, he shoots and the goalie smothers it. And you're like,
the goalkeeper's already there.
That. Yeah. It's like, you could have taken the shot earlier. Why? Why is our number 10 doing that?
If the bit you're on about is what I'm thinking of, is that where he got the ball basically and took it round the player, actually went quite nice onto it, and you thought, right, crack it. And then he took about another 2 steps with it, and the goalkeeper was right in front of him and just totally blocked him off. Yeah. You did. it was just, mate, why didn't you put that in the back of the net? He should have finished that completely. But we do seem to have a habit of that up front.
I think Lo Celso scores that goal. I think with that moment, Lo Celso, because Lo Celso scored a few goals this season, not a lot because he hasn't played much, but when he's played, he's been fairly effective. So I was just disappointed that Lo Celso didn't get a start. And again, he comes on for 5 minutes. What's the point? I think the front three, Son, Kulu and Johnson, I don't think we've got a choice unless you're going to start Dane Scarlett. But other than that, the other option is what? Brian Hill. It's not going to happen, is it? So really, with Werner injured, Solomon injured, I guess that, and Richarlison injured, I guess now it has to be Johnson, Son, Kulu. Do you agree with that, Dan? Do you think there's any other?
Do you know
what we could have done?
It is at that point where it is at that point where there isn't really much option up there. But I still think Johnson just looks he just looks terrible up there. Kulusevski was poor today by anyone's standards. I thought he was absolutely shocking today. And I thought up front we just really don't have much option.
No, we don't. We don't. I thought the first 10 minutes of the game, Spurs started brightly. Some half chances, but nothing clinical. We didn't get a shot away, which was the most frustrating thing because there was a couple of moments where I thought, shoot, damn it, shoot. And we're trying to pass it into the net. Or the most annoying thing is we carry the ball forward, we get into the final third, and you're thinking, right, play the ball, feed it. And either we don't feed it or there's no movement for the person on the ball to feed it to. And it's literally, it's deja vu of every game for the past 4 or 5 months. It's just, how many times am I going to see the same action happen without it ever progressing? And I saw it against Burnley, and Burnley this is a relegation team, Dan. You know, I don't want to be harsh because we won, right? Say that again.
We got them relegated, basically, wasn't it? They was already basically done.
Yeah,
we just had to lose this one, wasn't it? And we relegated them, wasn't it? These are games that we should be destroying them, walking into it and winning it easy. But again, make a mountain out of a molehill at Tottenham, didn't we?
And of course, Burnley, they grew in confidence and began to get into the game. And then, as happened against all the lower teams, Luton, Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Crystal Palace, all the weak teams, they go 1-0 up. On the 25th minute, you could honestly, you know when you want to say, I can't believe it, but I do believe it because I'm used to it. On the 25th minute, a really nice goal. And the commentator said no less than Burnley deserved. And like I said, Dan, they were getting into the game. That's why it was deserved. Burge skips past Porro's outstretched leg in midfield, driving goalwards, then plays in Larson. Skip can't keep up. And then then Larson just basically opens up his body and slots it to the side of Vicario. 1-0. Now, Dan, I want to break down this goal and I want you to tell me what you think. So it starts with Basuma not being able to tackle the Burnley midfielder, and he ends up on the ground. Then the player progresses forward. Sorry, that's Basuma again. Beg your pardon. That's Basuma failing to put the tackle in. And then the player skips past Porro, and then he feeds the ball into the striker. You can see at the bottom of the screen. Look how far back Skip is off the player. That's a good 5-6 yards, 6 meters maybe. And for me, it's a case of this is why you can't start Skip in a position that isn't his. The distance between him and their forward player is ridiculous. Look at Van de Ven and Romero. They're in fairly decent positions. They've got their players covered, but Skip is way off. So you've got Basuma failing to win a tackle. Then Porro steps forward. He misses the tackle, which allows the midfielder to play a through ball, something that we couldn't do all game, play a through ball. And before you know it, it's 1-0. So I kind of blame Basuma. Porro stepping either too early or not judging his tackle. And then Skip being 5-6 yards off the pace. I don't know if you want to put any blame on Vicario as well. Could he have done better? I don't know. But our midfield and our wing backs, they're costing us a lot, I feel, Dan. There's no protection for the two centre backs. And the wing backs quite often are the ones that are causing the errors that lead to the nail in the coffin moment where the striker puts the ball in the back of the net. What did you make of it when you saw it?
Well, like I say, I fell asleep after about 5 minutes. I've been doing the gardening and that. I thought, you know what, I'm going to lay down, have a beer and watch Spurs game. And after 5 minutes, I fell asleep. And it was that goal that woke me up. So I only basically caught the rebound of the goal when they replayed it. And I didn't see it from the depth of what you just showed it there. I just saw it to the point that we just, from the lower point of the goal as such, when they showed the replay, that we just got totally caught clean out again. And same goal, different game, basically, that we've been conceding all season. I mean, that one, I just can't vouch too much on it because I only saw the replay on it. But again, from the usual, it just looked like the same goal that we concede every game without fail, or same type of goal.
Dietrich, you all right? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You're all right, mate.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm right.
by
We're
the
just
way,
going through the. We're just going
you
through
made
the.
a
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I'm just saying you made a mistake. It's not Bissouma, it's Sar on the picture.
Sorry, was it Saar that didn't put
Yeah, it's
that
Sar.
missed his tackle?
And if
Beg
you
your
go
pardon.
back and
Okay. No, I
if you
believe you.
go
I believe
back
you.
and
Apologies to Basuma. It was Saar.
yeah, if you go back and watch, when Sar fell over, instead of running back to fix his mistake, he started limping like an idiot. And that's why I keep on saying Sar has no qualities on the pitch and brings nothing to this team. Not good defensively, not good going forward, and never gives 100% on the field. That's just my personal opinion.
But don't you think he's just young and he's developing and he's
I don't
not
give a
been.
shit.
Dietrich, he hasn't been terrible this season.
Camavinga is super young, and look at him what he's doing with Madrid.
But Camavinga's at
Age-
Real Madrid. That's a different level, though. We can't compare.
Yeah,
Two
but
different players.
No, but age is not a factor. I'm sorry. Either you have it or you don't.
So just to clarify, this is where Pape Sarr failed to win possession. And then we had a second bite of the cherry. And this is Porro, who didn't put the tackle in, and the same midfielder. You can actually see Pape Sarr with his hands on his hips after the first moment where the midfielder of Burnley beat him. So you got Pape Sarr, Porro, and then Skip. 3 opportunities to prevent this from happening, and we failed each time. I just honestly feel when I watch Spurs defend at times, I struggle, man. I really struggle with us.
Mhm.
I don't know if we're being coached to defend. I don't think we put enough emphasis on it. And I just think players just these are basic things, like put a block in, go with your runner, tackle. These aren't complicated things that we're asking here.
It's the same goals every game, same problems. So the fact that they are, you'd think it's something that is going to get looked at by Ange, basically. Again, this is where we'll see next season whether he learns or not. But some of them, they're so simple. They're like pub goals, basically, from a pub club sort of thing. They are that simple that even a professional team shouldn't be doing that on a regular basis. Now and again, everyone gets caught out on a silly goal, whatever, but it's just the same thing over and over again.
Well, do you know
And
what
it
I
was
heard?
the same today again. Sorry.
So
What is it? How many times did Van der Ven come back and save our ass? A couple of times on that one again as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Van der Ven a few times got called into action, but we're used to it. Again, we're used to it. We're just used to seeing Van der Ven make these defensive sprints and save us.
No, my issue is like only at Tottenham they think it's not a contact sport, football. Do you know you're allowed to use your shoulder? None of them this gets stuck in. It's like, oh, let me give him some space because maybe he has COVID, so let me get him like 2 meters away, and then I'll come back and shake your hand. Every fucking time is the same thing.
Harmless potato, you say, but still, he has to push forward. It's the system, so therefore the system is failing us. If you don't want to blame
Something's
Skip,
not working.
and you're gonna say that it's because of the system, then the system doesn't work. And it's not the first time we've seen this, guys. This is Burnley. I'm not talking about playing Newcastle or playing Aston Villa or playing a mid-table team that can be sometimes difficult like Wolves or Fulham. This is a relegation team that sliced us open. That should not be happening.
But I'll be honest with you. As much as I don't like Ange and everyone knows my thoughts with this guy, I don't think it was the tactics. I'm gonna blame the tactics today. I think it was just personnel were just shit. Nobody did their job correctly.
Yeah, but whose tactic was it to put Skip in the wing-back role, Dietrich?
No, I agree. Skip should not be a left back, not at all. But if I tell you to play a position, could you at least give it your all, just for the fans, for the sake of the fans? Why are you like 5 meters away of your player? Like that's not tactics. That's just like you're dumbass.
We've been doing it all season, though, mate. And there's so many times where you can see what's going to happen. You can almost predict the future. You see it, we see it. It's just the ones that don't seem to see it this year is either the manager or the players. They can't seem to predict what's going to happen. Again, repeating it, even though it's the same things every game. I think the only reason we did get today is because we was playing Burnley, basically. If that would have been someone else a little bit more clinical, whatever else, we could have been in big trouble there again.
Well, the only good news was today that it is Burnley and they're not good, because in the 32nd minute, Pedro Porro scored and it was a banging strike. It was a good solo run from Porro, who picks up the ball down the right wing, played a 1-2 in the channel, strides into the area with absolutely no one near him. And the reason no one was near him is because Burnley are not good either. He unleashes a right-foot strike, firing past the goalkeeper. Brilliant stuff from Spurs, 1-1. And if you look at where Porro was running from, I've circled the closest defender that is in front of the play that could have gone across. Look at the distance Porro has to cover and how little ground the defender of Burnley has to cover. Yet Porro gets into the box, unleashes the shot. And guys, thank God this is Burnley, because another team is stopping this. But Porro, he literally ran in a straight line, got in the box and unleashed a rocket into the goal. It was a banging strike, but it was unopposed. He literally had no one to beat because nobody shut him down, which is why I'm glad we played Burnley today, because it allowed this to happen. So, but take nothing away from Porro, guys. It was a brilliant strike. Proper laced.
But
go on, mate.
Just quickly, just one thing. If you look back on the picture, why is Son not in the middle? Where is he? He's like, if Porro makes the run,
Son was deep a lot today, Dietrich. Son was quite deep a lot today.
Yeah, but you're a striker. You shouldn't be that deep.
I don't know if it's an instruction or if it's
I think it's him. I don't think it's
but I see Richarlison deep. When Richarlison was striker, he was dropping. Even Maddison, the number 10, he often gets deep. I don't know what it is.
But it's like none of them, they know how to make like striker runs. It's like they don't understand the position.
Nobody makes runs in this team. The only one that made runs was Werner, and I don't like Werner. He was the only one that used to make the runs.
But that's my point. So I don't think it's tactics from Ange. I think it's just personnel that don't know how to use that position correctly.
Yeah, but how can Son not know how to make runs? We've seen him do it for the past 8 years, Dietrich. What, he suddenly doesn't know how to do it?
No, but he used to Kane, like, if I have the ball, just run. But, like, with this team, it's like, I don't know.
Do you think he's trying to be a Harry Kane, basically? Trying to do what Harry Kane did?
Exactly.
Well, he's not good enough to do that.
Yeah.
No chance. That is not his style of play at all. And neither is he good enough to
maybe.
that one. I don't think there's many are.
If I'm not mistaken, does Pedro Porro and Van de Ven have more goals than Maddison this year?
I don't think Porro does. I think Porro's had 2, 3.
Same as Maddison.
What's that? Say that again, what was the question?
If I'm not mistaken, does Porro and Van de Ven have more goals or like equal goals as Maddison this year?
I'll tell you now. Let me bring up my I've got a chart that
I think Maddison scored about 5, isn't he? 4, something
3.
like that.
I think 3.
Okay. That goal we conceded there, that we scored there, is basically the equivalent of how we've been conceding them all season as well. We basically did to them what everyone's been doing to us. Another team would have shut that down in a matter of moments. But they're exactly the sort of goals that we've been giving away. It's quite comical in its own manner in that aspect.
Weird joke.
But he finished it well. You can't take that away from Porro. He finished that one well.
Goalie should have done better. A lot.
Right, in terms of goals this year,
game.
Maddison has scored 1 against Aston Villa away.
Maddison has 4, my bad. I'm mistaken. Sorry.
He scored another one against Bournemouth, another one against Burnley.
Yeah, he has 4.
And then Fulham, that's 4. Porro has scored 1,
2. Yes, 2.
2, 3, 3, 3. 2, sorry, no, because that was an FA Cup. But you know what, though, Dietrich? Porro, when it comes to assists, Maddison's got 1, 2 assists.
Porro has 7
3 assists. 4.
Matters has
5.
8.
No, he doesn't.
Matters has. Yeah, he does. I'm looking at it on FootMob.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, okay. And to be fair, Maddison's been injured as well a lot longer than Porro. But Porro's a defender. So
that's my point. Yeah, that's my point.
I don't think I even know what Porro is meant to be at the moment. Is he meant to be a number 10? Is he meant to be a right back? Is he meant to be a wing back? I don't even think he knows what he is at the moment.
No, I think he's playing. I think Ange tweaked with Porro. I think he's playing now like a proper wing back because he's the one crossing and shooting the ball.
It's true. John's right. Porro's barely missed a game as well, whereas Maddison's missed 2 months. So
that's not an excuse. I'm sorry.
What do you mean it's not an excuse? If you can't play football, you have to factor it in.
Yeah, but if you're getting paid the highest bucks and you have Prem experience, you shouldn't be having 4 goals and 8 assists in 26 games.
I think Maddison should have more goals. I agree. Today he should have scored. He screwed it up. Let's
Definitely.
have it right.
He had 2 chances. He should have scored.
Yeah, no, I agree. He should score more goals. Porro's having the best season he's had for us since he's joined.
Well, when he first came to us, he was absolutely shocking, wasn't he? He was terrible in every which way. Whether it came to attacking, defending, he just looked awful on the pitch. But
although for Sporting Lisbon,
come up to standard.
For Sporting Lisbon though, he was good. He was good before we signed him. So I'm not surprised he's playing well because he had it in him before. Well, look, halftime, it finished 1-1. And the commentary said an entertaining first half. I don't know what was entertaining about it, guys. I was bored shitless. Which has seen little to separate these two. And that's the worrying bit. Little to separate these two. We're 5th. They're relegated. Both goals have been good quality. The finishing, yeah. The defending, no, in my opinion. A draw does neither side any good in their respective battles. True. The XG at half-time was pretty worrying because it was almost identical. The expected goals for both teams was pretty much the same. So that's not really what we want to see. And stats-wise, it wasn't too much different either. So look, I think 1-1 at halftime was a fair reflection of the game that I was watching. I thought that was a fair score at halftime. I weren't angry with it, but I wasn't happy either. I wasn't. Yeah, it's like I said in the title of this show. We deserved to win today because of our second half performance, but I wasn't impressed. I really thought today we'd win 3-1, 4-1. You know, we'd put one on them, but we struggled. The highlight of the game was this at half time. Mousa Dembélé came out. He did an interview, and I'll tell you what, it's been, mate, it threw back the years. The whole stadium was singing, "Oh, Mousa Dembélé." Oh, and do you know what? It felt so good, man. It felt so good to sing that because it
when we had a quality
and the way
midfielder.
He spoke, yeah. And when he spoke, Dan, he sounded like a serious football player, and he just commanded the mic, confident, not shy, just the Don. It was almost like the Don is on the mic, and it brought back the years, man. It brought back memories. And then as he walked off the mic to go back down the tunnel, the whole stadium again. Oh,
such an underrated player.
Top player.
Such an underrated player. Very underrated.
Fantastic player.
Only thing was he couldn't score a goal and a couple of injuries. But apart from that, a lot of teams do state, a lot of players have stated that he's the hardest midfielder they've ever played against.
Yeah. He said that he really enjoyed playing for us when he played, and the team he played in was really, really good. And just seeing him there, and you know what? You forget how big of a unit he is. Like, he was towering over everyone.
He's hench. The fella's hench. He always was. And that was another thing that people always said about him, where he was so big, but the control he had on the ball and the way he could move the ball, and that is usually a player like that, you would have thought maybe wouldn't have such control on it. He was hench. The fella is big, but he was so soft on his feet, basically. He's an excellent player that I don't think we noticed how much we missed him until he actually went. Then we started seeing our midfield slowly go to pieces. The only thing he couldn't do was put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, he should have scored more goals for us. I did tweet at halftime saying the highlight of the game is seeing Mousa Dembélé, and he didn't play.
Says everything, doesn't it?
It's good to see Mousa Dembélé.
I mean, half-time 1-1, it was fair because there was nothing really in it special from either side. Our goalkeeper saved our backside at one point. I thought their goalkeeper was brilliant today. Some of the saves he made were quality.
Who, the goalkeeper for
Burnley?
Yeah, the goalkeeper for Burnley had a fantastic game. He had a brilliant game.
He was brilliant today.
Yeah. Go for it, Dietrich.
Who would you say was a better player, Rodri or Dembélé? Forget about trophies.
Okay. I'm going to say Rodri, but if Dembélé played for Pep in that Man City team, it would have been Dembélé. If he played in that team, in that system with Pep, it would have been Dembélé. It would have been. A bit like Gareth Bale. He was one of the best players at Spurs, but when he went to Real Madrid, he became next level because he's surrounded by better players, better coaching, better. I think Dembélé, if he went to a bigger club, he would have won Player of the Year. He would have cleaned up, man. Spurs,
he was.
It holds you back a bit. It holds you back a bit being at Spurs, sadly.
Yeah, either that or we're just a stepping stone, one or the other. But I think the other thing that let Dembélé down, apart from not being able to score, which he really couldn't, his injury prone was quite a lot as well, wasn't it? I think he went a solid season, basically. But apart from that, I think he always had a good knock or two on him, didn't he? But the control he had on the ball, brilliant player. And like you say, put him at a better team, better manager, better players around him, you'd have seen a lot more out of him.
Well, it's interesting because one of the questions they asked him was, how did you manage to keep the ball so well? It was like there was glue stuck on your foot. And he just spoke about, playing football. And man, do you know what? Just seeing him there, and I'm watching Basuma put in performances, Pape Sarr, Madison, you're just thinking, please, can we just replace? We still haven't replaced Mousa Dembélé. We still haven't replaced him. And Ndombele was meant to be the replacement, but freaking hell, his attitude stank.
No chance. Yeah, well, then the sooner he just gone, the better. I think there's only one player I've actually seen at Spurs that has had a better first touch control of the ball than Dembélé. I mean, like, control the ball as soon as it came to him.
Berbatov.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah,
I think he's the only one who I've been actually seen who could control that ball from the second he got it better than Dembélé. But Dembélé, overall, better control of the ball. But, yeah, could have been so much more as a player. Really could have been.
The second half, I thought Spurs were the better team. We were creating a lot more chances. But we were missing chances. Our crossing was awful. Again, Kulusevski and Johnson were shit. These two players, right? We listen. I'm going to go negative. I don't care. This
By the
channel,
way,
we say
both of
as
you
it
owe
is.
me an apology.
We're
Owe
not
me
winning
apology.
anything. We're not winning anything with Brennan Johnson. This guy is a waste of time. I'm telling you. And Kulusevski, this guy, it's not going to work for him either. I'm sorry, it's not going to work for him. They offer us that. They have one little half decent moment, and that's all fans remember, and they forget about everything else they did wrong. Inability to beat a man, inability to pass the ball to the right place. When they're supposed to pull it back, they cross it. When they're supposed to cross it, they pull it back. When they cross it into the box, it's always off target, over the bar, into the stands. It's so crap, man.
Brennan Johnson
and
is
I've got to say as
shocking.
well, Maddison, I think it was Basuma and Pape Sarr, he was guilty today. In fact, all of them. When they drive forward, there was one moment Pape Sarr had the ball, and you're just saying, give it to Son, feed him. And he takes another touch, and then bang, free kick to Tottenham, yellow card to Burnley. But who cares? If you pass the ball to Son straight away, we were in. Our inability to cross a ball and our inability to play a through ball, whether it's the attacking wide players or the midfield, honestly, we are lacking so much creativity. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's why we're struggling when it comes to scoring goals.
You owe me some flowers still. I told you about Kulu, and you too, Dan. I told you.
Yeah, I thought the thing is with Kulu, he has got more to him, but we're not going to see it at Spurs. I think that's blatantly shown now. He's another one we should be looking at, get him out as quick as possible. Johnson, we all know he's not going nowhere. And like you said, still, so many people go on about, yeah, but he's done this and he's done that. The only way he has improved for me as a player over the season is you see him for 10 minutes in a game and not 5 minutes in a game. And I can only name, I think, one game where you could say he spent 70 minutes of a game where he's actually been noticeable in those 70 minutes. The rest of it, it's all been 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and then you see nothing of the player again.
But you see,
I honestly don't see where he's going to take us.
But see, the only argument people have is that, oh, but he got this goal and he got that assist. And I always say to people, yeah, against the bottom 10 teams, missing against Newcastle, missing against Arsenal, missing against Chelsea, missing against Liverpool. What does this guy do? Oh, he turns up against Sheffield United. He turns up against Luton. This is Burnley. He went missing against Burnley, and we're at home. And he goes missing. There was one moment. I you know, you just want to swing out your hand and punch something, right?
Mm.
There was one moment where I've got it here. Huge miss. Brennan Johnson will not want to see this again. Son flashes the ball across the back post from the left, where Brennan Johnson sticks out a leg and somehow puts the ball wide. My word, it only needed a touch, just a toe, just a toenail. He is 3 yards out. How has he missed it? Guys, look at this. How has he missed it?
Even Timo Werner would have probably got that. And that's
Timo Werner missed the same one against Fulham, actually. They're both just
on the opposite side, wasn't it? On the opposite side, yeah. So he put it over the top. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I don't care what channel you're on. If I hear another YouTuber or another person in the comments say, give it time, he's young, be patient. We paid £50 million for a 23-year-old that can't score this. Honestly, guys, he had a chance earlier on as well that he fluffed, by the way, but this was killer. This was at that point I thought, do you know what, it's going to finish 1-1. I'm in the mud because I said we're going to batter Burnley. I said we are going to put Burnley to bed. We're going to win 4-1. I'm in the mud. God help me. Everyone's going to call me out. But I don't just want to go after Brennan because Kulu, like I said, had a crap game. Maddison, he missed a one-on-one with the goalie. Harder than this Brennan Johnson chance. Maddison's chance was harder, but a player of his level should be scoring, doesn't score. We just look clueless. It takes a wing back and a centre back to score our goals. Against Arsenal, it took Romero to score, a centre back. Without our defenders, we're not scoring goals, guys. Without defenders, we are not scoring goals. How are we in this position?
The defenders, their finishing seems to be better than our strikers now, doesn't it? I mean, that finish by Van der Ven was as quality as any forward's going to finish, but up front, no, definitely not. I mean, when you got Johnson running at the goalkeeper, or you got Kulusevski doing it, or you've got Werner doing it, you don't feel very safe that it's going to go in, do you?
Johnson missed 5 chances today. I don't understand how people defend it. I don't understand how people think we're going to progress with this guy. Brian Daigle, WhatsApp me the link. Yeah, I'll send it to you now, Brian. No worries, my man.
I just did it.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just messaged me. I just did it.
Brennan Johnson.
Say that again?
I have a question about Brennan Johnson. People
Yeah.
say we use data analytics on players. Could you name me one data that tells me Brennan Johnson is a good player?
Well, the thing is, right? No, I'll tell you this, right? At Nottingham Forest, he was better. He's better than what we're seeing now, but they played him down the middle. They didn't play him as this wide player. He was more striker type role. Okay. He wasn't a striker, but it was more closer to a striker. We're playing him differently to what he played at Forest. So whether they're hoping, big up Brian, whether they're hoping he will adjust to this new role, we're going to have to wait and see. But for me, I said it very early on when I saw Brennan Johnson, he's not going to make it. And I'll tell you for me why I know Brennan Johnson isn't going to make it at Spurs. I think the club and the pressure of what we want to achieve is too big for him. There's players like Zaha, who was brilliant at Crystal Palace. He went to United, couldn't handle it. There was players like Darren Bent, brilliant at Charlton Athletic, comes to Spurs, couldn't handle it. There was players like Emil Heskey, went to Liverpool, not quite the same player as he was at Leicester City. Sometimes a player in their comfort zone is as good as you're going to get. And once they go out their comfort zone, you begin to see, actually, you're not, this level is not for you. I think Richarlison's the same. I put Richarlison in a similar bracket. Very few players go from one place to another and push on. Trossard left Brighton, excelling. Akanji left Dortmund, went to Man City, excelling. Like they push on to the next level. When I see Brennan Johnson, I see a player that doesn't have confidence, a player that isn't evolving, and a player who doesn't believe they're going to be good. And for me, when you spend £50 million, you need the finished product. You can't have a development player at 50 million. That's ridiculous. And today, everything I saw from Brennan Johnson, and like I said, guys, this is Burnley we played against. This wasn't Aston Villa. This wasn't Arsenal. This wasn't a European Cup tie. This is Burnley, and he looked poor. But, guys, I want to repeat, this isn't just about Brennan Johnson. Kulu was rubbish. Maddison was... Pape Sarr,
Son wasn't nothing today either.
Son, so Brian, how you doing, my man? You good?
I've just woken up from it. It knackers me going to the Scotland Yard. But yeah, I came on. I'm on a tight time schedule. I've been told I'm allowed to come on until the Eurovision Song Contest marking is done, and then it's dinner time. So they've just started marking, so I've got just a bit of time. And saw you were on. I thought, come on. First of all, I can see Wolves feet in the house. I just want to say, Wolves Football Club. If anyone hasn't seen the video Wolves released on mental health, absolutely brilliant. And needs commending a wonderful club to do things like that. But now, the Sue Smiths, the Diamonds in the house, a big up to everyone as well. But yeah, when the starting lineup came out, I put a tweet out and has Spurs in here. He commented on it. I simply put the fact that Dejan Kulusevski is in the starting lineup is mind-boggling to me. I put that on Spurs' official tweet where they released the lineup. Yeah,
Brian, who would you have played ahead of him? Because we discussed this and we said Richarlison was injured, Werner's injured, Solomon's injured. Who would you have started then?
I would have. Do you know what? This is the thing that I was getting at. Well, once I said this, still, you would have thought that I'd come to England and slap people's mothers. with the responses I was getting, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I would have started Lo Celso, and before people go, "Oh, he doesn't play there. He doesn't play there." Does only Skip play a left back?
Stick Maddison there then, and stick Lo Celso where Maddison was going to be.
Exactly. I mean, we're here now on one of the penultimate games of the season. That front line today were embarrassed by the defenders. I mean, the people that came for me, I must admit, well done. You proved me wrong with Dejan Kulusevski, who ran around a bit and offered absolutely nothing apart from fouling people and putting in one cross for Brennan Johnson. Mate, listen, you've got to. I don't understand. I've been saying this when we bring Brian Hill on. Not that we did say when we bring Brian Hill on. I've said before, I do not understand why people that don't have a future at this club are getting on this pitch, and people that could be the heartbeat of it aren't, i.e. Jamie Donnelly, Santiago's, Mikey Moore, who was on the bench. Obviously, he's very, very young. When the front line aren't doing anything, and they aren't, up front, they're not doing it. Like you said, the midfield weren't the best either. The first goal, their goal, they went for us like a hot knife through butter. It was that simple. But why not try something different? We looked so much better the second predictability went off. So much better. People getting so excited about a late winning 2-1 performance against a relegated now Burnley. It was like we've just got top 4 and just beaten Man City. The celebrations, it's like, we've just beaten Burnley.
That is how bad it has become, Brian. Down to the fact
you're right.
that we're meant to sit now. Okay, we won. I get the positive side of it. We stopped us getting beaten 5 games on the trot, but we have just struggled and needed our defenders to save our ass to beat Burnley, and people are getting excited about it. Well, we've just done Burnley. You're like, well done. Why aren't I impressed? Sorry, I must be toxic.
And even my personal opinion, even the lap of honors at the end, I don't get the point. You've won fuck all. You did nothing the whole year.
Dietrich, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We will get to the end bit as well before we go in on that. I just wanted to discuss how, because we said at half time, the XG was pretty similar. So both teams expected goals was 0.5. If you look at the halftime stats, both had equal number of shots on targets and clear-cut chances. They had more than us, actually. They had 2, we had 1. But then by the end of the game, we had 21 shots, they had 7. We had 9 on target, they had 3. We had 4 clear-cut chances, they had 2. The XG was through the roof for us, 2.5. So there's a massive uplift in chances and opportunities. But yet, we only scored 1 goal. And you can only put that down to what? Poor finishing. Someone made a really good point earlier on, which I wanted to touch, but they beat me to it. Well played, Roger. Son could have had 4 assists today. Maddison, Sarr, Johnson and Porro all missed their chances when fed through. So that doesn't mean Son had a great game, by the way. I'm not here to defend Son, but you've got Maddison, you've got Son, you've got Kulu, you've got Brennan Johnson, even Basuma and Pape Sarr, they're still midfielders. No one is creating, no one is finishing in this team, and it takes a centre-back and a right-back to get us the goals. How can we honestly believe these players are going to progress next season? I said it 2 months ago. Everyone slagged me off. I said the entire front line needs replacing, and maybe half the midfield. I'd keep Son only because he's our top goal scorer. Unless you're going to bring in a top striker to replace him, fair enough. But do you agree, guys? Or do you think some of these players are going to come good? Let me come to you, Charlie, and then I'll come back to Brian, and then we'll go to Dan and Dietrich's.
So you always leave the Arab last?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I first of all, big up to everyone here. Big up to the panel. Big up to the chat. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I said this, by the way, Stel, I told you we weren't going to batter them on my show yesterday. I knew that we would scrape it.
Charlie, you were right. I was wrong to be positive. I tried. right? I tried. It didn't work.
I said we'd win. I said we'd win 2-1, which happened. But I didn't. I said we're not battering them because we're not battering anyone right now because of the point you said. We're getting bailed out by defenders. Like Porro's finish, Van de Ven's finish, more clinical, more on point than any of our forwards today. And yeah, I mean, Stel, you said it. Like, you look at, we got players in that midfield like Maddison. You're expecting them to get their foot on the ball and create, but they don't do it. Like, it's not even like people say that, like, oh, possession, yeah, which is true. But what is the point in possession when you're not going to do anything with it? I keep saying it. Like, this happened under Poch. Even like when we were good with Poch, we had these games. Like, I remember, I think it was the 17-18 season. We drew. The reason we weren't in a title race that season, it was like after the season we finished second, is because we drew so many games. And it was because we struggled to create against a lot of teams that sat back. And Burnley today, the worst part was they had to win, otherwise they're down. And we still couldn't create despite the space that was left for us. Like, I saw for a lot of that game, they were pushed really high up and we couldn't get them behind. We couldn't be clinical. We didn't have the wingers that can actually take on their fullbacks, who, by the way, this is a Burnley team who, well, I think they've looked beaten from the start of the season, if we're being honest. Like, a lot of people were saying that, yeah, they got 100 points in the championship, but they've been poor from the start. And we should have done more. I think we should have done more. Like, I'm watching Johnson. He's just running around. He doesn't know what to do. You look at Kulu playing on the left today. Again, hangs onto the ball for too long. It's like I was saying this. We overcomplicate everything. We overthink every attack. We don't play simple football. And that's what I want to see from Tottenham, because simple football, it's more results. Like, you look at it, right? You look at Burnley's goal. I know they're crap at this kind of thing, but their goal was simple football. It's like one, two passes and they're in on goal, slots it away. Simple football. But yeah, I mean, look, Porro's finish. I've been saying this.
But Charlie, I don't know if you're watching. We were saying for that goal, Pape Sarr failed to win this challenge. That was Pape Sarr failing to win the challenge. Then Porro failed to miss the second challenge, and then when he feeds it through, Skip is 6 yards off the play. So we had three chances to stop this,
another issue,
and we failed at each defensive moment.
The other issue was Skip. I've been saying this. Where's Dragusin? I mean, we signed him. I've said he's a top player from what we saw at Genoa, and we're not using him. And we saw finally today, the 82nd. It took Ange 82 minutes. When I think a lot of fans, including myself, were calling for this since Udogie got out. Put Van de Ven left back. He's played there for Wolfsburg. He can do it comfortably. Put Dragusin in. He's more than capable of doing a job there. And we saw today, as soon as that happens, bang, Van de Ven straight away on the overlap, gets a cross in. And then he gets his goal, which was a finish you would expect to come from the forward lines. But it came from our centre-back / left back.
Can I give a little shout out to Dane Scarlett here as well? Because I don't know, from where I was sitting, he also, when he made those subs, he also put Bentancur in midfield. He moved Son out left and put Scarlett up front. Scarlett's movement off the ball pulled a player away, allowing the Van de Ven run as well. So sometimes we don't see what happens off the ball, but I just want to give a special mention to Dane Scarlett there, because he actually helped in that goal.
Yep.
I know he didn't necessarily have the best of chances given to him, or didn't really have much on the ball action, but I thought off the ball Scarlett did all right.
Still, I have to say just very quickly, I don't know if I missed it. Have you all discussed the one amazing, inspired tactical thing that Ange Postecoglou did during this game, which was rest Emerson for Man City?
Hopefully. I kept saying this. Now
he rested Brian.
He rested Emerson. He gave him the rest, so he's ready to face City. It's a hard game, so it's all smart man. Yeah. Emerson to start against City.
Yeah, and then
hopefully.
Yeah. Well, the thing you were just saying quickly. Go on.
Yeah, go on then. No, you go.
The thing you was just saying about Van de Ven going on the left, it looks much more solid when he went on the left, Dragusin in the middle. And quite a few people have been screaming for that from day one. And it was the first thing I thought of straight away, stick him on the left because he can cover it and that. But if he wouldn't have been in the middle today again, we'd have probably conceded 2 goals extra because he saved our ass at least 2 or 3 times I can think of straight from down the middle. It's that sort of situation at the moment where when we haven't got Van der Ven as that centre-back, it sort of brings Angie's whole system to the floor, basically. But lucky enough, it did work when he finally changed it. That is why I can see that we have kept him in the middle. But why we've been sticking Skip, Royale and Davis down there, I suppose that's just another story.
Out of the forward attackers and the midfielders that attack, is there anyone who would you keep, guys? Because for me, I've said it, I'd only keep Son. And from the midfield, I'd probably only keep you'd probably keep Maddison, give him another season, I guess. Bentancur. But I'll be honest, Sarr, I'm not really bothered anymore. Basuma, I'm not bothered anymore. Skip has to go. Højbjerg has to go. Lo Celso. See, I would keep him, but he's not going to play.
He's made it fast.
And we have
what about you guys? What about you guys? Would you keep? What's your thoughts on Johnson, guys, and Cooley? Would you keep these 2 or not?
Hell no.
Oh wait, mate.
They don't have output. What's the point?
Brian, you said you were prepared to be patient with Johnson. Have you changed, or you still thinking be patient?
I listen. No. Listen, I'm sticking by. Listen, what Johnson showed today is it. Listen, I have tried to back him, and I have backed him throughout the entire season. But I think it's clearly showing right now he has a major impact when he comes off the bench, as opposed to starting. Starting, he has not been able to do. I am prepared to give Johnson another season, or up until Christmas. I think it's too much to say, right, it hasn't worked, go. If you look at someone like Kulusevski, who I would sell in a heartbeat, Antonio Conte's the first 6 months, he had Son and Kane alongside him, and he had a specific job to do. And he did it magnificently in that run to the Champions League and beating the field. He really was key to what we did. But since that time, and especially since Ange wants to play a certain way, whether people agree with the way he wants to play or not, they and predictability cannot play it. So the way I look at it, there are players that can't play the system, and rather than keeping them for years and years and then loaning them out and then them going on a free because we can't get rid of them, if a player cannot play in this system, get them gone. Get them gone and get someone in that can. Brennan Johnson has the attributes to play and system. As we've seen, he wants pacey wingers. He wants that. But at the moment, his output, his final ball, his decision-making needs improving. I would always give a player a full pre-season under the manager in the summer before I say, right, that's it, get him gone. So I think Brennan Johnson deserves another season. He's got a season to make it. If he does not make it, then I want him gone. But I think it's just too early. But don't get me wrong, on this current form, and when he came on against Forest or whatever game he came on as a sub, I think it was Forest, he changed the game. There's games he's come on off the bench, like even his debut, Sheffield United. Yes, they're lower position teams, but he can make a difference with his pace and whatever. But starting and his output and his decision-making needs to drastically improve. But you look at it still, like you said, our midfield can't do anything right now, which is affecting the front line, and the front line aren't scoring because of the service. And Johnson's part of that isn't give. And we're playing Son in the middle, and he's not a 9. When we played Richarlison, you look at Richarlison, those 2 goals, you'll remember Everton and Bournemouth, they scored the identical goal where he whipped the ball in early and at the near post. It was just like Anderson and Sheringham with their corner. I think there is maybe something there with Johnson. I just think he needs one pre-season with a manager, and we see where it goes. But if he does not improve, then I want him gone because it's clear he can't do it. I've had enough of keeping players for years and years and years, and they just go past the sell-by date. We can't get rid of them. So Decky, in a heartbeat. Johnson, I would give another season to, but I completely get and understand why a majority of people are saying, I don't want him and I don't trust him. I get that.
So Brian,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on, Dietrich.
No, Brian. So you like Johnson, like, which is fair, like it's your right. But you honestly think Johnson would, like, we want to win the league? That's our ultimate goal as a club. Do you think Johnson would make the Arsenal and the Man City teams? Because those are the team we're trying to beat.
But listen, Dietrich.
It's just about get back in. It's just about get back in Nottingham Forest. I mean, come on, let's be real here. Yeah, it's all good. I totally get where you're coming from, Brian. And yeah, maybe he does deserve another season, whatever. I don't care what this man deserves or what anyone deserves in life, really, because none of us actually get it. He's had a shit. He has had times where he has looked. What's the word? The long word I can use here. He has looked diabolical at times. I think is the word to put for him, if you want to put it a polite way. He's got no bollocks on him. He don't take his man on. He doesn't take his pace, which is the only thing he's good at. He has one good cross out of every, let's say 10 to 15 attempts. He can't score unless it's literally on the goal line for him. And you talk about his output. I'm more scared of his input because he doesn't look like he's got any input to get the output. Get rid of him while we could still get 30 mil for him if we could, is how I see it on this one.
Just going back to what Dietrich said as well when he spoke about winning the league. Listen, I don't think it matters one jot who we sign in the summer. We are not going to be battling Man City and Arsenal for the league. That's a couple of years away. There is not a chance, even if we have an amazing window by our. Do I think Brennan Johnson can help get us to a Carabao Cup? An FA Cup, which are realistic targets for this club.
No, I don't
think the Europa, mate, in the Cup tournament, listen, like I said, I've stuck my neck out with Brennan Johnson. I know how a lot of people feel about them. I know how a lot of people feel about it, but what I'm saying is what you got to remember as well, if you're looking, you got to remember we're trying to get rid of these, we're trying to get rid of these, a mass fucking clear out in the summer. A mass clear out, apparently, whatever. Does Dejan Kulusevski, Predictability, fit this ad system in any way? No. Is he going to improve? No. But Dietrich, this is the thing. Whether you like it or not, Brennan Johnson is the type of. Yes, I want to see better quality, and I think he needs to deliver. But is he? If we sell Brennan Johnson, we are just going to sign another pacey winger.
I agree. I agree with you.
That's the thing. And at the moment, Brian, you got to remember how many. Also, Dietrich, very quick. Yeah. You got to remember with how many people we're trying to get out, and how many people that desperately need to come in, like a number 6, hopefully, a left-sided centre back, a striker. We've got to work out. We're not going to get everything done this window. There are bigger things. There's bigger things at hand that need to be fixed than Brennan Johnson. Like I said, if he doesn't, I'm saying, listen, there needs to be better, but I think Brennan Johnson has got another season to prove
And you made the point saying that Johnson, he might win us a FA Cup or a League Cup, which I completely disagree. Because the only way you can get to that final, if you look at Palmer, he delivers every game, at least 15 goals this year and 15 assists. Those are the kind of players we need. Or Elise. Johnson, I have no faith in him winning or even making it to the final. There's no way. He's not good enough.
Do you know, guys? Do you know what my frustration is with this? Look, everyone's opinions are valid. My frustration at the moment is that Brennan, Werner, Kulu, whoever you want, right? The lot of them. When I see Elise, when I see Eze, when I see Foden, when I see Saka, when I see Salah, when I see Cole Palmer, you name it.
Anthony Gordon.
Players, whatever players you want to add to the list, right? When I see these players, I see 3 things they all do. They take on a man, they create chances, and they score goals. When I look at our players, they either do 1 or none. They don't do 2, not even 2, let alone the 3. And we at Spurs used to have these players, even at a lower level, like Aaron Lennon. He created, he beat a man, he scored, and he wasn't even the elite players we had. We used to have Chris Waddles, Gareth Bale, right? We've had these players at Spurs, and suddenly we've just gone like Werner, Johnson, Kulu. It's like, whoa, this isn't even Aaron Lennon level. You lot aren't even Aaron Lennon, man. So this is my frustration. Look, could Johnson come good? I guess we're going to find out. Can Kulu improve and show us what he did the first 4 months he came when Conte signed him? Maybe. Can Timo Werner rediscover his form from when he was at RB Leipzig 5 years ago? Maybe.
Never.
But I'm just frustrated, hoping. I just want to see us buy it. Like, bring it in, man. And like I said, everyone's opinion is valid. But I look at the competition. I think, I honestly think we've fallen behind massively when it comes to attacking wide striker type players. I think Spurs have dropped off massively in the last couple of years. Especially now.
Let me just put it another way. Let me just put it another way as well, because obviously we've been talking about it and whatever. I've got it. I've heard, and I've obviously told you still the reasons and whatever. The Richarlison is pretty much done, and I've known that for a good few weeks now. And now you're seeing certain stuff come out. I won't go into the reasons, but it is pretty much signed, sealed, delivered. You're not going to see Richarlison in a Spurs shirt. So right now, what's more important? Making sure we find the right striker, or thinking, what do we do with Brennan Johnson? We've got rid of Harry Kane. We've got rid of obviously Richarlison. I would say pretty much in the first 2 weeks of the season, signed, sealed, delivered, off, bye. Then the urge comes that we have to get a prolific or a striker of some kind to play Ange's style of football, or just a striker, because all that leaves us with is Scarlett, Valise. And if they promote Lancashire, if they promote Sunsop Bell, so a striker becomes an absolute necessity. And getting that right. This is what I'm getting at. When we're getting rid of people, and they're like you said, still Højbjerg looks like he's off. We're going to lose Emerson. We're going to lose Skip. We're going to lose Kulisevsky. These deals. See, I wanted Eze more than I wanted Maddison last season, and I said it quite publicly on every single channel. You put him up there, we're a different ball game. There's a guaranteed quality, whatever. You put a striker that can latch onto the speed and quality of Eze and score the goal, and Brennan Johnson's there. Maybe Brennan Johnson becomes a different player. You saw Son and Kane.
Brian, I've been saying Eze for so long. Like,
Eze is. We're
seeing this now. Yeah, especially now we're seeing it with Glasner. He can play left wing midfield.
Charlie, can I ask something? Because you watch these players a lot. I know you do. If I said to you, listen, the only reason I say that is because Charlie's the one that told us about Pedro Porro before we were even linked with him. So I know he watches a lot of. He's a bit like Strasbourg Steve, watches a lot of football outside of the Premier League, unlike me. But I've briefly watched Palace this season, but from what I've seen, Elise is levels above Eze. Should we really be going for Elise, or do you disagree?
I kind of disagree. I wouldn't say it's levels. I think both of them have been just as good. I think the problem is it's hard because for a lot of the season, both of them have been injured. Like, they've been injured at different times. There was even a period, like a small period, they were injured for the same time. But it's only recently, like the last couple of months of the season, where they've actually been playing together.
Glasner.
And I think, yeah.
The manager, mate.
Yes, but before that, they were injured. Like, they never played together for the whole season. And we're seeing now, I don't think there's too much difference. I think both of them have been very similar. I think both of them have been just as good on the eye. I mean, numbers, I haven't looked too much into that. But, I mean, honestly, I'll take either of them. I think Eze, Elise, they can both play in midfield as well. So if we're talking about Maddison not being good, we can just put one of them in the number 10. And, yeah, I think I'll take either of them in a heartbeat. Absolute quality, both of them, for me. And, yeah, I've been saying, especially with Eze, I've been banging that drum for ages now. Get him in. I mean, we're hearing that apparently Spurs are looking at him, but do you know what I see happening now? I see him staying. I see him and Elise staying at Palace for another season, because Glasner's actually doing something there. Like, they're not just good form, they're in like really, really good form. It's like 5 wins in a row or something like 10.
They're more in form than Arsenal. They are
That's
more
what I'm
informed than
saying.
Arsenal.
So the way I see it is, I think both of those players are going to give it a season, because I think that if Palace can keep these players and sign a couple more players just to fill some positions, I think they could challenge for the Conference League if they keep going on this path. And for a club like Palace, like that's never happened before. Like it's unbelievable. So I
see
personally,
them.
yeah,
Go on, mate. Finish. Sorry.
No, I'm saying when it comes to Eze and Elise, I don't think either of them are going to leave this summer. I think they're going to give it one season.
Unless it's mega money.
Yeah, unless it's like ridiculous.
They get 100 mil for if someone submits a bid of 100 mil, then they'll leave. But I get you.
Let's just say, Steve. Let's just say
not that much. Come on, you don't need 100 mil for either of them two.
What I'm saying is,
no, for one of them. I'm saying Elise or Eze would leave if Man United bid 100 mil for one of them.
What I'm saying is, regardless of bids, neither of them are going to like ask to leave. They're not going to push it. You know what I mean?
No,
right.
The main reason to that I see it, I'll make you right on what you're saying to an extent, but no way would it cost 100 million to sign.
No. Dan,
60,
what I was
70
saying
million, maybe. The reason they wouldn't probably leave is because Crystal Palace is an easier stepping stone than Spurs. Not a money thing, whatever. The only reason they'd probably stay there and not come over to Spurs is they'd sit there and think, do you know what? One more good season here. It's an easier stepping stone to get out of. Whereas if I go and use Spurs as a stepping stone, I've then got Daniel Levy on my back and it's practically impossible to get out unless he wants me out. That is why I would see them staying there. But we can offer a lot more money than Palace, and we could have the money and the player to hand over as such to pull one of them over.
Yeah.
But Palace
if you have
is
the ambition to
stepping
get one
stone.
of them, you'll get them.
Well, Brian Daigle did a poll,
Yeah.
and almost 2,000 people voted, and it's almost a 50-50 split. What at least
I must admit, still, it started off at about 80. It started off about 80% Eze. Then Elise took the lead. Then Eze. Listen, the pair of them are magnificent and real talents. And listen, we had our eyes on both of them at QPR and Reading, respectively, and obviously didn't take advantage of it. But I am a bigger fan of Eze. Elise has had a brilliant season. Brilliant.
Brian, do you know why the vote changed? Because this is dated May the 7th, right? After that Crystal Palace game, I think a lot of people thought, whoa, Elise, hold on.
Of course.
But Eze was very good too. But you're right, Elise has scored. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, with Palace as well, which just goes to show people that the right players are in the Championship. The guy they signed from Blackburn, Wharton, has absolutely transformed them. He is absolutely...
And Mateta, who was an average striker,
Oh,
was actually
mate.
banging
I
them
like
in.
Mateta.
Although this might be a purple patch, we don't know.
I have always liked Mateta. I've always liked Mateta, and I liked him at Mainz. There are good qualities about the player. And Glasner has a great track record of developing strikers as well. He gets the most out of them. Similar to Unai Emery. Notice how Unai Emery, all of his strikers, wherever he goes, they score mad goals and they play well. Same kind of thing with Glasner, to maybe about the small of a sample size, but he's getting the most out of Mateta. I think he'll.
It's funny because Glasner's his Palace team. It actually reminds me more of his Wolfsburg team than his Frankfurt team. Yeah, because from what I've seen of them, because his Frankfurt team, like, look, their domestic form wasn't that great. Yeah, they won Europa, but they finished 12th that season. Wolfsburg, they finished 4th, which for them, that's like insane. Like they never qualified for Champions League. So, and I just look at it. They're more defensively solid than his Frankfurt team because his Frankfurt team leaked a few goals. Compare that to his Wolfsburg team. In my opinion, they were more.
If I remember right,
I think Palace
didn't Wolfsburg win the league and then get relegated the following season.
Wolfsburg won in 2009.
And then got relegated the next year, didn't they?
They got relegated like 2 years after, I think. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
No, Glasner's Wolfsburg. This was in like 2021.
I know. I was just saying a comment about Wolfsburg. That's how I remember it.
I didn't
won the league and then got relegated the following year, I think.
Guys, I want to move it on to from criticizing players' performances and questioning why certain players are at Spurs. I want to go on to praising a player here because on the 82nd minute, Micky van der Ven broke through and effectively scored the winning goal. Superb finish from Micky van der Ven, who takes a great first touch before coolly placing the ball into the bottom corner after a great run from Dane Scarlett, who opened up the space for him, which is what I spoke about briefly before. Now, he picks up the ball. Dane Scarlett makes the run forward, taking number, I think it's 27 or 37 with him. Van de Ven beats the player, gets into the box, and then puts it in the bottom corner. And I just want to share with you from a coaching perspective why this is such a good goal from Micky van de Ven, right? When he beats the player and Dane Scarlett, look, you can see Dane Scarlett takes number, it looks like 33 there. Dane Scarlett takes a play where Micky van de Ven sprints past two players. He's facing the corner flag. When he gets into the box, look what he has, the intelligence and the technical ability to do. Makes it look easy, by the way. Completely changes his body shape to put it on his left foot to shoot. That rotation there, he makes that look easy. He's right. Bear in mind, Van de Ven is going at a ridiculous pace, and he's done that. The ability to slow down, we call that motor skills. Deceleration, that's actually a motor skill you practice. He slowed down, turned, thought, placed it. He made that look easy. That was a quality finish from him.
I was sick.
You know, I question
the
striker's
finish. He's a centre back. It's
Charlie,
a striker's finish.
It really is. It really is. You know, we're talking about one player that can't score from 3 yards, and I'm bigging up a player
and
here,
he's a forward
who's showing the technical ability and intelligence to do that. Honestly, I think Micky van de Ven, for 22 years old, we've got an absolute banging player on our hands here. I've got nothing but praise for him. And at the start of the season, guys, I questioned this guy in my face. He's wicked. He's really, really good. We're going to struggle to hold on to him. What do you guys think of Micky van de Ven? Because for me, when I watched that back, that was class.
He's player of the year.
Yeah, all day long. He's outstanding, and sadly, he's got Real Madrid written all over him. He is an excellent player, and even the way he moved there is something you'd want Kulusevski to be able to do up there, to put it onto his left foot to shoot, not fall over his left foot at the same time. It's actually embarrassing how good he done that up front. It's embarrassing because it just shows how poor our forwards are.
So to me, he's the absolute, and I said this. To me, he is the best signing of the entire Premier League transfer window. A lot of people came back at me and said Cole Palmer, and I'm like, well, Cole Palmer scored half his goals from the penalty spot. He's been a great player. The ceiling on this kid, Micky, honestly, if it hadn't been for his hamstrings going a couple of times, which is understandable with what we're asking him to do in the Chelsea game, this guy is like elite. And still, you'll know my big love for Jan Vertonghen. If he stays for the amount of time as Jan Vertonghen did, there might be some serious competition for my second favourite ever Spurs player. He is absolutely magnificent. He's elite. He is. I hope, unlike what Dan said, because he has. So does Romero, to be fair. Both our centre backs have Real Madrid written all over them. Let's just hope it doesn't happen.
Who was the team? Oh, by the way, big up Sam. Long time no speak, brother.
Big up
Paxton. Big up Paxton Road TV. Who was the game where Van de Ven hit that rocket shot top bins against
Nottingham Forest? Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I mean, that's another finish. His finishes are elite.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is it. He's we've always known he's good on the ball. Like he's not one of these, I guess, old school centre backs where they just hack it away. He's actually got composure on the ball. So his finishing, in a way, doesn't entirely surprise me. What does surprise me is the fact that he's got into these positions so often. But yeah, no, look, he's
a ball-playing defender, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got everything. Like he's everything that you look for in a modern day defender. And I think you're right. If we don't seriously get our act together, yeah, we're going to struggle to hold on to them, because I think a lot of the proper clubs like Real Madrid or Bayern will want a player like that in their team because he can slot in. Like he's proved. This is another thing. A lot of people were saying he might need time to adapt. He might take a bit, but he walked into our team.
Yeah,
and he hit the ground
into the Premiership.
That's what I'm saying.
Yet people are sitting there saying, yeah, but Johnson's only 23 and we need to give him more chance. Yeah, even he had a year or two experience in the Premier League and everything.
You paid more for Johnson than you did Van de Ven, also.
Exactly.
Like
Van de Ven was cheap.
Like to point that out as well. You paid more for Van de Ven than you did for Johnson.
This is what I'm saying. Is Steve. You know this as well. Players buying players across Europe. There's much better players you can get for half the price you're buying the likes of Johnson. I see Spurs are being linked with Gallagher. I'm like, no thanks, because first of all, I think he's shit, and secondly, we can get a player like Manu Kone for half the price. You know what I mean? Like it's
Manu Kone has barely played for Gladbach this year, but I hear your point.
I love him.
I do too, but he's struggled big time with fitness.
I'll take him in a heartbeat.
It's the same as a lot of leagues, though.
Lewis Ferguson. Bologna. Lewis Ferguson,
yeah.
You could get him for around the same price.
Exactly.
He's a far better player, a far better footballer than Gallagher ever will be.
Easily.
He's the bet. He was named Serie A midfielder of the season. The Scottish kid, Lewis Ferguson at Bologna, unbelievably good player. So yeah, you got bro. I have never been on the Prem proven train ever in my life. I think it's the biggest load of BS ever.
Do you know what it is as well?
Footballers are good footballers wherever they play. That's
Steve. We're being linked. I don't know if it's true because I don't believe any of this stuff until it comes out. But we're being linked with Calafiori, the Bologna left back, and I've been saying for a while this guy was.
He looks really good.
He's gone to Juve.
He used to play for He used to play for Basel, and he got picked up from Bologna, I think, straight from Basel. If I'm right. Yeah, he at Basel. I saw him. I saw him for Basel. I can't remember where. By the way, I don't watch Swiss football, but for some reason, I recall being aware of him at Basel. Maybe it's because he's an Italian player. I don't know, but he went to Bologna, and again, it's another player that's been part of their revolution, if you like. There,
dude, he's so good in the air.
We're looking. Let's be honest. We need more depth in the fullback position, and. Yeah, look, I see if he's agreed to go to Juve, then fair enough.
Yeah, I think they've been linked with Calafiori for a while.
But if we were to get him, that would be a top sign.
Stud. My concern is, go on. Stud.
I just want to jump on this quickly, where it says, big up DP, who says it's a bit hyperbolic about a centre back of the season conceding record number of goals. See,
watch the games.
This is what we do as fans. We take an individual. And we look at the team stat. It's a bit like, how's Harry Kane elite? He's won no trophies. Again, you're looking at an individual and you're looking at club stats. Mm-hmm. Compare the individual to other individuals and then form an analysis. You can't blame
I'd also say look at the games Van de Ven has missed. And we've lost so many games when Van de Ven hasn't been.
And how many times he's made that crucial run and saved us,
which is why
he saved us 100 times a game.
Yeah, so if you were to look at the amount of times he intercepts the ball, the amount of times he makes run back successfully and challenges a player and wins the ball, the amount of blocks he puts in, I think as well. Like if Van de Ven was playing in a different system, mate, we're not conceding all these goals. Like the system. If we didn't defend zonal marking, if we did man-to-man marking, half the set pieces aren't going in.
No, I agree, and that's down to the manager. I think there's only two teams that he would seriously, I won't say struggle, but wouldn't walk into the team straight away, and that's Man City and Arsenal. Every other team, he's in there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yo, pull up Scott M's comment. I think that summarizes it really well. Scott M's comment about 2 Real Madrid level center backs. Great, there you go. Greatest goalkeeper in the world has ever seen. And concedes 60 goals, but Ange needs more time. It makes no sense. That's why I worry for you guys. That's why I worry about you guys.
It's the system. It's the system.
Yeah, and I don't think he is going to make the tweaks to survive.
No, his unwillingness to adapt
is where we shall see. We could have the best defense on the planet. I've said it 100 times, and I say the best defense I personally ever saw was when it was Maldini, Nesta, Stam, and Cafu. Go stick them four at the back for Spurs, and you are still going to concede goals. That's how I see this one. Yeah. Maybe if he gets it right up front, we won't concede as many, but we're still going to get done so many times. And then the minute Van der Ven ain't on there to come back and cover it, we're going to be screwed again. That's why I don't see this system ever winning anything in the Premiership. Yeah, we might win more games. We might get fourth place. But this is where I want to see the manager adapt.
He needs to adapt, and we also need to sign better quality players than what we've seen so far. That doesn't help us. I think it's both needs to happen, I believe.
Stel, why did I, like yesterday, I know I was a bit under the influence, but like, why do you think I got so freaking angry as a non-Spurs fan when people were talking to me about should you play Skip as a left back? Should he stay? Should Emerson Royale stay? Or should you let Milan do the worst transfer of all time and spend 30 million on him? Keep this guy, keep that guy. It's like, I wouldn't tolerate that nonsense at Newcastle. I wouldn't tolerate that. So why should you guys? So
Milan are not going to pay 30 mil for him. They haven't got 30 mil to spend.
No, they do. They do have money to spend.
They really don't.
No, they will. They will spend a good amount of
they're
money.
They're in a worse position than Inter Milan when it comes to money.
No, but they're going to sell a big hitter this summer, I think. They're going to sell a big hitter.
If they sell their French left back?
Guys, do you know what proves the point about Kulu? If Antonio Conte was our manager, we're not conceding half these goals. With this squad, just simply because we play differently. Probably. Maybe we won't score as many either. We won't score as many, but we're not conceding as many. There's no way.
Probably not. That reminds me. I actually think the best if you look at our squad, the players we've got available, the best formation suited is a three at the back. I've said this for
3-5-2.
Yeah, 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. Because we think of it.
Yeah, 3-4-3.
It's not just the centre backs. It's the wing backs. Naturally, Porro and Udogie are wing backs. We sign them as wing backs. It's only Ange that's made them play inverted. So, yeah, I think considering our weaknesses in the forward line, we lessen the amount of emphasis up front, less forward players, more defenders, and the wing backs with a more advanced role that can actually overlap rather than invert. So, yeah, I think. If Ange is never going to do it, it's never going to happen under this manager. But I actually think if you look at the players in our squad, that is the best formation.
Here's your starting 11 right here, right now in a 3-4-1-2. Because you want Madison attacking two midfielders.
Or it just goes back to that other argument of play this team in a Conte style, and I think you've got the perfect style for the team. But that's a different story.
Your starting 11 on a 3-4-1-2 should be Vicario. Dragosin in the middle of the back three, obviously Van de Ven, Romero. Midfield four picks itself of Udogie, Porro. Midfielders is tough because they're.
I love Steve trying to drop the foreign accent to sound better. Udogie.
No, I am, bro. I'm on the spectrum, bro. I'm obsessed with this. If I learn how to pronounce something correctly, I do it.
I'm only winding you up, by the way.
Yeah, Udogie, Porro. Midfield 2, it's tough because a lot of them are out of form, but let's just say, I don't know, Bissouma and
Cool.
Can I
Madison, and then your front two, Son and
I want to ask you all a question. By the way, everyone watching, smash like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please follow Brian Daigle on Tottenham on Tour. Make sure you watch his morning shows, Anger Management with Johnny. They're really, really good shows. You need to, if you don't know, get to know in the words of Alex. Strasbourg Steve, if you love your European football, back to me. If you like your European football, Strasbourg Steve covers it more than anybody else. If you like hearing it as it should be said, then make sure you follow the Hotspur Hood and No Filter FC, Charlie and Dan's channels. Don't be shy, people. Sky Sports posted
13 subs away from 200. I want to get there before the end of the
Charlie,
season.
I've just realised that I got followed by you on Twitter today. I was like, who is that? No, I know, right?
Wait, me? On Twitter?
Well, it's called No Filter TV.
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Show me. I'm not on Twitter.
Oh,
Well, I'll send it to you. I'll send it your way.
Yeah, show me this.
Okay, 101 man. You're doing my head in, right? Okay, I will say it again. Kulu was crap. Kulu was rubbish. I want Kulu gone. Are you happy now? Are you satisfied? Have I made it any more clear to you?
I know I just came in. Kulu and Johnson.
Mari, we've done it. Bro, we've done it. We've just done an hour on it. Honestly.
Yeah.
Let's move it on.
Even Sofa Score will back you up. Like, it's, horrible.
My bad, Charlie. It was someone different. My bad.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I'm not on Twitter for obvious
But I am
reasons.
about to follow you on YouTube.
I love this. We've got 3 conversations going on. I'm talking to 101 man. Mari's talking about Brendan Johnson, and you two are talking about Twitter.
No, it's a dysfunctional system. It's a dysfunctional system.
This is so Spursy. Sky Sports said this, right? And do you know what? I think there's some truth in it. Spurs' resilience paying off. Tottenham Hotspur have won 25 points from losing positions in the league this season. Only Liverpool have recovered more. Tottenham Hotspur have won after conceding the opening goal in the English Premier League for the first time since the 3rd of March 2024 against Luton Town. 4 games without a win. Tottenham Hotspur have scored in 33 of their 36 games. No team has done so more often in the league than this season. So I found this interesting, and I'll tell you why. Because, look, we could say, why are we in this position in the first place, right? Why are we going down? We don't want to be down to have to keep coming back. But do you guys agree we are resilient? The fact that we've managed to score in more games more often than any other league Premier League team this season, and the fact that when we do go down, we bounce back to win points. Only Liverpool surpassed that. Does that show that Ange has installed one thing in this team? We've got fight. We've got spirit. It might not look good. It might be annoying, and it might be somewhat divisive in terms of it splits fans. But you've got to admit, we've got fight. We do have knack of just not giving in and going to the nth minute of the last second of the game and finding a way more so than not. We can't. Can anyone argue that? Do you disagree with that?
So I slightly disagree. I mean, look, Stel, you're not wrong in the sense that.
Well, these are facts, yes. Charlie. These are facts.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I disagree slightly, not entirely, but slightly, because you're not wrong with the facts that when we're in losing positions, we've dug ourselves out lots of times. But here's where I disagree in terms of like this being, I guess, a good thing, because if we didn't put ourselves in these positions, these stats wouldn't exist, in the sense that you look at teams like Burnley today, Sheffield earlier in the season. If we're being honest, if we want to progress and compete, we should be comfortably wiping the floor with these 3-0, 4-0. We shouldn't be having to come from a goal behind to turn it around when the pressure's off, in a way. Because when we're losing a game, the pressure's on the other team to hold on. Like, we're chasing the game. So it's kind of like we got nothing to lose. So what we're not seeing this season is Tottenham actually, apart from, maybe Newcastle at home 4-1, maybe Burnley 5-2 away, maybe. But we haven't really seen us. And I think this, again, it comes down to quality in wide areas, that sort of thing. But we don't put teams to bed. We don't kill the game. We don't, like, even under Conte, when we had worse defenders and that kind of thing, we would batter like Everton 5-0. Like, we don't do that these days. And I think the reason what the stats you've put up there, Stel, are misleading is because not a lot of teams, especially you look at Man City and stuff, they don't put themselves in that position in the first place. So that's my only issue with that. Why do we keep having to come back constantly all the time? Like, there was a period we were like, what? We hadn't scored a first half goal for like 5 weeks or something.
Yep.
We were like a goal down for like 4 home games in a row. It's like, why are we getting into that position in the first place? Why can't we just go and have a convincing performance and kill the game early doors?
And there's
so yeah,
the other
that's kind
side
of where
to
I
it
see
as
it.
well. No, I agree. I agree with everything you've basically just said. And then there's the other side to it as well. It's no different to what we've been doing for 3 years, really, because we're usually a second half team or a 1-half team. So you'll see nothing of us in the first half, go down 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1 against teams we shouldn't even be going that far down against. And then all of a sudden we turn up for the second half. It's no change from last season in that aspect, is it?
The
Right,
biggest.
so listen, I need to go. Sorry, guys. I'm just, I'm off. What I will just very quickly say on those stats, still as well, is I look at the stats more like West Ham, Arsenal, Chelsea. We took 2 points from 18. That's the stat. So it's just unacceptable. You look at it. You've shown the points with Werner and Johnson that they only do it well against the lower teams. Well, listen, you know, it's all these fucking stats that have come out now. Just take people's eye off the ball. The only stat that matters is the one in the top left-hand in the screen, where the score. That's the only one that matters. But I'll leave it on that note. I'll just say, I'll be on Anger Management tomorrow at midday UK time. And then I've just been reliably informed I'm Ben from We Are Tottenham TV tomorrow because he's going to the women's final. So I'll be on We Are Tottenham TV afterwards. Everyone have a very good evening, good day, good morning, whatever time of the world it is. Have a wonderful end of your Saturday. And as always, Levy out.
Levy out. Big up, Brian.
Brian. I was just going to say about that stat real quick. You know, so in the stat, go pull it up again if you can. Who's the team mentioned in the top spot? Liverpool on 28 points from winning positions. You know why their title challenge collapsed and why I never, ever, ever picked them to win the title at any point this season, even though that they had a 6 or 7 point gap at one point? Because look at the amount of times that Liverpool concede the first goal in the Premier League and overall in all comp in a lot of their games, they're conceding the first goal in a lot of games and they're having to come back. And eventually, because of Liverpool's attack losing form, losing goals, Nunez missing so many chances, Luis Diaz missing chances, Salah missing a few, but still producing pretty good goals and whatever. You know why I never ever picked them? Because they're always going a goal down and they're having to put themselves in that situation. I bet Man City are not very high for points recovered from losing positions. You want to know why?
That's what I'm saying.
Because they're always scoring.
They get it done first.
I will say this though, because it takes a lot of work to come back. But I saw a stat: Bayer Lucasen had so many comebacks in their undefeated streak, like this season in all comps. I think they have about like 15 to 20. They went through all the games. Yeah. They've had to come back, but the quality of their team has made up for it. Whereas Liverpool, Darwin Nunez missed, sitters whatsoever.
Yes.
Bayer, they've been effective. Like it's ridiculous. They have so many goals in 85th minute on. It's amazing. And now they're about to win a treble, not the real treble, but an Europa League treble.
Mm-hmm. Unbeaten treble. It's crazy.
It's more impressive for me than a UCL.
Unbeaten.
It's impressive because it's unbeaten.
Bayern Leverkusen is your perfect example of a pretty good team with some very good players. But if you actually put them down to down, they are not a special out and out team player for player. What they are special at is a team that is united and plays together and knows how to play the right system together.
I think they're quality.
We'll see on that one. I think with them, they're more down to the fact of what happens when you get a team together with some very good players in it, but you've got them all playing the right way in the right formation that suits every single player there. Because if you go and take them for player, they're not better than Bayern Munich. Not at all.
Is better. No, all right. I would disagree with that. I think
Tapsoba gets in. Tapsoba gets into Bayern.
I said a couple
I think
of players.
Ronaldo probably gets.
Oh no, I think
more. If you do it player for player, Munich have got a better team player for player.
We don't.
They do.
It's not that clear.
Leverkusen are playing in the perfect system for each and every one of those players, and it shows.
Palacios starts for Bayern over LA Fitness Goretzka. Pavlovic would start. Both center backs from Leverkusen. You could take your pick of Kusunu. You could take Ta.
For the way they've provided this season, yeah. But if you go and put it on their history record and that, no.
No, but I would. I said in September these guys are looking scary. In September,
I haven't said they're a poor team. I've said if you can player for player.
I think Frimpong easily gets into Bayern.
Starts for Bayern.
But they're playing the perfect formation for them, and they're playing the perfect way for every single one of their players, and it makes them 10 times better. You can even make a bang average team look significantly better if you've got everyone doing the right thing that they're good at.
Yeah, because it comes from the coaching. I mean, kudos to what's his name?
Alonso.
Alonso, because really the community, the team have gravitated to him, and for him to not take the Liverpool job, people say he's waiting for the Real Madrid job. Like, kudos to him. He is a great manager, and I would say this, because I looked at the English Premier League nominees for Manager of the Year. Aren't you guys surprised that Ange didn't make the list? I'm shocked because he was Manager of the Month 2 or 3 times. I think the Bleacher Report or ESPN, they had Arteta, they had Pep,
and Donny Iraola at Bournemouth.
Yeah,
Iraola, top, really good manager.
I like him too.
And I think Ange didn't make it. And they had Aston Villa,
Unai
Emery. So I'm like, Ange didn't make the list, and that was 5 people. I was shocked.
Yeah. But you know what it is, Mari? How long have you guys been playing kind of sketchy for? I say I noticed you started playing sketchy since January.
Yeah.
I think, well, Steve, technically it all started with the injury crisis. But even then, I thought we were playing, like, when we were playing, I think it was Bournemouth at home, like that kind of period. We were playing better then than we are now. And that was when we had like no centre backs. So I think it's true. You have to say that the patchy performance, like the real like chinks, I guess, in our armour started obviously when the injury crisis happened. But I think it didn't go like shit until probably like January, like you said. So,
that's what I noticed. The performances drop off from you guys, and then the performances eventually carried on to results, because my biggest pet peeve with sports in general is the results-based analysis and not performance-based analysis and all that. And I noticed a performance drop-off like starting around maybe late December, January time, and then the results kind of started to suffer. I remember you guys getting blown out by Brighton, Fulham, and then we did it. I think you guys had a stretch of home games in November where you lost like 2 in a row, 3 in a row, or something like that. So there have been, I think that's why I didn't get in the Manager of the Year nomination for Postecoglou.
And Steve, I'll say this as well. Our best performance was actually against you guys at home.
Yes, it was.
That was our best performance of the season.
Yeah, we were terrible.
And that was when we had injuries as well.
We were terrible. Yeah. No, I knew you guys were gonna blitz us too, because Everton schooled us 3-0 on the Thursday, and I'm like, yeah, we're screwed, man.
Can we take a quick look at the league table?
Yeah.
City have gone top of the league now. It is 100% in their hands. If they win their next 2, they are champions. Arsenal play Man United tomorrow. If they fail to beat Man United, you could say it's pretty much game over. Liverpool have cemented their place as the team that will finish 3rd. And then Villa, there is an outside chance Spurs can get Champions League, but that means giving Arsenal the league because we have to beat Man City, which we don't want.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Newcastle can still finish 5th if Spurs lose their next 2 games, but I think Newcastle blew a massive chance today, dropping points against Brighton. But guys, do you think how the table looks now, this is how it's going to finish?
Go
in that exact order.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're Arsenal, you are mad that Fulham got pumped because people thought it would be a closer game. Now, as expected, if City have their way, because yes, we won today, but really we've been losing 4-1, right? If we lose in the Liverpool way, 4-1, 5-1, that means that Arsenal has to beat United, and not by 1 goal. They have to be at least 2 goals. 2 goals to be comfortable. Because if they win 2-1 at Old Trafford, which has always been tough for them, and City pumps us, that means West Ham, who got smoked the other week, even if they get a result, City wins the tiebreaker with goal differential. So today was a great day for City, winning, 4-0, and the pressure's on Arsenal to win with many goals.
And we know what Arsenal are like when they have to deal with pressure. I think we all know what comes.
I mean, Steve. We were just Stel was on my show yesterday. We were discussing it. Me and Stel, we were like, all of us were convinced. Yeah, City will beat Fulham, which happened. But we said Arsenal would win comfortably at Old Trafford. Do you think there's a slip up here, judging by what you're saying?
I wouldn't be surprised, and also it would be because nothing has gone Newcastle's way this season. At times, it seems like. I wouldn't be surprised if Man United scrape a victory or something, and then I think they overtake us for 6th. I think we'll cling on to dear life for 6th place, Newcastle. But I don't know, man. That game tomorrow is just gonna be.
I think it's gonna.
No matter what happens.
How close are you to teams below you? Let me bring up the league table, the full table.
Oh, like a point behind or something stupid. Chelsea are level on points with us. But we have a better goal difference by like.
Chelsea right now have really found some form at the right time.
They played a terrible game today, but they scored 3 goals. Like, let's not. I'm gonna just keep it a stack. Like,
but that's been their issue all season, not converting their chances. Now they're converting.
No. They didn't play good today. They did not play good for any consistent period in that game.
Chelsea, you've got a better goal difference, so. Chelsea could pip you, which puts you into Conference League. Although, if Man United win the FA Cup, then 6th place is not Europa.
Yes. Man City will sweep aside Man United with ease in that final. With ease, 2-0.
I hope so.
2-0.
That's like a 4-0 in my opinion.
No. I think it'll be a 2-0 just because FA Cup, it's final competitive tax.
Mate, how good if Man United win tomorrow, then Newcastle, Chelsea, United are all on 57 points with 2 games to go. It actually makes Europa quite exciting.
This league is poor, and nobody wants to admit
it. It is poor.
I've been saying this as well.
Steve,
there is zero difference between this league, Serie A, La Liga, and the Bundesliga and Liga. I am sorry.
Thank you.
If you disagree, that's fine. I watch everything. That's the conclusion I've come to, and I'm going to add the Portuguese league into this mix as well.
All right, then let me ask you a question to it. Then
they are all different.
I said this in November because I said. Football. I said about the Premier.
So Mari, sorry, 1 second, Mari, guys, I can hear an echo all the time. Steve, I think can I just mute you when you're gone? Cheers. Go on, Mari.
About the Premier League.
That's better.
Terrible, including Manchester City, the terrible chances missed. In all my life of watching football, I've seen people be lethal. Right, the chances have been high, but the missed chances. They have to be a stat that it's the worst in the Premier League I've ever seen. Teams missing gimme goals. We've benefited in the first 10 games of teams missing goals. And by watching other teams, City missing goals, Liverpool, like a lot of teams. But when you go outside of the Premier League, these teams, when they get a chance, they're really effective. And so that's why the Serie A has 2 finalists in the finals. The German league, Bundesliga, they have because you're getting more effective goals. They may have less chances, but they're finishing their dinner. Whereas in the Premier League, just like our team, right, we're getting so many chances, but it means nothing if you can't finish your dinner.
But there's a big difference with the Premiership and the other leagues. What makes the Premiership the best league? Anybody can beat anybody on their day. The only other league close to that manner is Serie A. Whereas you go to France, it's pretty much easy to predict. You go to Germany, 9 times out of 10, it's easy to predict. You go to basically any other league except Serie A, it's very.
Now let him finish his point. Hold on.
You go to pretty much any other league apart from Serie A, you're pretty 90% chance you're getting the scores right. It's not very often that you'll see a small team go and beat one of the bigger teams. Whereas in the Premiership, we all know that anything on that day is capable. The only other team I think that is close to that is Serie A. The rest of it, you are not going to see a bottom 3 team in Spain 9.5 times out of 10 beat one of the top 4 teams in Spain.
Granada are relegated and they've drawn with Barca twice.
I'm not saying it never happens. I'm saying it very rarely happens compared to the Premiership.
No, but and I just don't think it's that way because and Charlie can back me up on this in terms of the watch-alongs and stuff. You see some crazy stuff lately. Me and you.
I'm not saying it never happens.
What I'm saying is I agree that does happen in the Premier League, the unexpected results. I'm saying I've seen less of that this year than usual, and the other leagues I've seen it just as if not more.
With the La Liga teams, right? With the La Liga teams, and I'll even say, was it Sporting? Yeah, against Arsenal. I watched the game, right? Arsenal at the same time is pumping teams in the Premier League. I watched those games when Arsenal went to the both legs against Sporting and both legs against Sporting. You saw the quality of play.
Last season.
You saw the quality of how technical, and you saw how it was giving Declan Rice and some of their midfielders problem, though they advanced. And then before they, who did they play before?
Murray, this season it was Porto. Last season was Sporting, which they went out. They got knocked out to Sporting last season.
Yeah, it was Porto. And I was just watching how their team play. It was just like, it's like, how many times are you going to see the Premier League has good teams, but they don't really have that technical team.
No.
Like players like that.
No, we don't.
You don't. It's very few. Very few. I would say City, I won't even say Liverpool. Like, when you watch some of these La Liga teams, it's even Atletico, though they play, not positive football, but they're still technical. They're players, Koke, and some of the rest of the players.
Riquelme,
yeah. Riquelme. I'm watching these guys and watching the technicality of these guys, and I'm just like, it's different. And so, but I get what you're saying. The bottom teams in the Premier League, if you're sleeping, they will get you. They'll get a result.
Whereas you go and take that to the Spanish, you go take it to the German, the French, or any other league out there, bar Serie A, there's a lot less chance that happens. Not saying it ever does happen, that it never happens, but a lot less chance than it happens unless the top team is actually severely out of form. Whereas in the Premiership, it is more known to happen than the other leagues where the top team can go in there, be right on it, but for some weird reason, Norwich can go and beat them. That is why the Premiership is known as the best league, because in a lot of ways, of course, it's predictable, same as most leagues, but it's the most unpredictable out of all the leagues. The only one, like I said, that I think comes close to it in that manner is Serie A.
After the game today, guys, just moving this conversation on, there was an end of season lap of appreciation, which is normally done in the last home game of the season, but because they've slipped in the Man City game, well, in the on the app, the Spurs app, it said that they've done that because the Man City game finishes at 10 p.m. They've got to shut the stadium. People have got to be out by 11:30. Council rules, and the players might want to go home back to their families and making them walk around the pitch late at night. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Look, believe it or not, that's what they said. But there was something funny that happened, and I had to listen. I thought it was quite funny. As the players are coming round, on the PA system, they'll play music linked to a player's song. So when Kulusevski walked past, they were pumping the ABBA song, Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. Okay. And then with the Richarlison singing, do or did. So every player that came around, they played the song for the player and got the fans going. Anyway, when Madison came round, right, his little boy, he's only a little kid, man. He's like this big. He stood in front of us. Look what he does. It was epic. I got to show you. I took a video. I'll play it for you. He was doing the dart. Little kid.
Little hype man, yeah. That's fun.
Mate, it was so cute. And I should have videoed it. I didn't. And then as the players walked past us where the goal is, they all took turns to like take penalties. The little kids, like they can barely kick the ball. Some of them had to kick it about 10 times before it went in. Mate, let me tell you something. Out of all the kids, do you know which kid kicked ass? And I mean, he was kicking ass. Romero's son is going to be a ball. Mate, Romero's boy was like, nah, fuck this. I'm winning this. Get out of my way. And he was, he's just, they're all similar age, bless them. But yeah, look, do you know what? It was actually quite a nice thing, I think, like just seeing the players up close with their families. You realize they're humans. Like, we slam Brennan, we slam Kulu, we slam. When you see them up close, you just kind of remember they are human beings and it is just football. Even Ange walking with his wife and that, you think, do you know what? Chill, man. Just give him a clap. Well done. We got fifth. And so, yeah, it was a good thing what they did today, especially with the sun being out. Everyone was happy, a few drinks down everyone. So
I know I came late and I know you mentioned Romero. I think because Porro had a good game. Romero has had a good season, despite the goals that we've given up. Romero's actually had a good season. All the metrics, everything, despite playing two positions. I've said this. He's played the 6 and center back, and then Ben. It's almost a travesty that these guys, with a more defensive-minded approach or coach, it would be so much better in regards to giving up goals. And I just hope Ange adapts in coming to the next season, because for me, it is criminal that we've given up all these goals. And, VDV, Romero, center back there, we have to protect them. We have to, by getting a proper 6.
And for me, is that
you said that on many a show, right?
Sorry. By the way, do I sound better? No echo, nothing.
Yeah, it's much better. It's much better.
All right, word. Dope. What I was gonna say is for transfer targets for you guys this summer, is the number 6 the most important?
For me, that is the number 6.
For Mari, you're saying yes?
Yes, I know we can't finish our dinner. I get that. But for me, I also believe, and this is where I give kudos to Arsenal, defense wins championships, right?
Yes,
Real Madrid is in the final because they play defense, right? Against City, right? Even with Bayern, they concentrate, like defense wins championships. And for me, you got to protect VDV for his health and Romero. We need a 6. We need a proper 6. It's important as getting a winger, a
destroyer, right? A destroyer, not a deep line playmaker.
Mari, do you know what? I'm going to counter this, right? There's games this season I've watched where if we just finished our chances or we were a bit more creative, that it would completely put all the pressure on the opposition and we get control of the game. And our inability to create or score in key moments then allows the counter attack and we get punished. I'm not disagreeing with you, buddy. I'm not saying that number 6 isn't important, but I think there's an argument to say a creative stroke goal scoring player is equally as important. I don't think one's more important than the other.
Yeah, because I hear the term, and I believe the term, the best defense is
the best form of attack is defense.
Yeah.
No, the best form of defense is attack.
No. I'm going to debunk this. The best form of defense is attack, because if you suck at attacking, you probably suck at defending. And what is Spurs right now?
Yeah, but that nullifies the thought process of the high press. The high
Man
press
United
is a form
suck
of
at
defense, but
attacking.
it's
And they also can't defend. Teams who suck at attacking also usually can't defend.
right. Well,
Right?
here's the thing, right? No, here's the thing. The basics. Let's go to the basics. How do you win a game of football?
Yeah, score your opposition.
Right. So scoring is the priority.
Yes. Yeah.
It's also
Attack is a form of
games, defenders win you the league.
Yeah. I agree with that. In a tournament setting, yes.
Look, when Klopp went to Liverpool, the last thing he fixed was the defense, the goal in the defender. Everything else was put in place. You could even say with Arteta, the last thing they put in place was the defense. Raya, Declan Rice. So I think build the attack, get that right, and then worry about
Build
the
your
defense.
spine.
I think there was a time back in the day under George Graham's and other managers where fix the defense and then build from the defense. I think football's changed now. I think football nowadays, because of possession-based football, high press, I think now the emphasis is, you know what, build the attack, then tidy up the defense at the end. So if we had a choice between an elite, quality, creative striker type player and a number 6, I'd take the creative attacker.
Who would you like?
But
yeah.
I think they're both important, just as important for this Spurs team right now, because they're the two bits I think we're lacking massively.
And you also have the money to do that. You can spend 600 million if you want, and nothing would happen to you.
But we don't have 600 million. We don't have.
How much is it? How much is it? Is it not 600? 500?
No. We can spend 600 million without breaking rules, but we don't have 600 to spend. We don't. No club has that. No way have we got 600. What? Just sitting in the bank? Are you mad?
I thought Levy I thought this Levy mofo was rich.
Bro, no club has just got 600 million to spend. No club.
Well, I mean, Newcastle,
like that.
we do.
Well, no, you don't. Otherwise, you'd spend it.
Well, no, because FFP. But that's
Speaking of number 6s, another guy we should get is a Porto midfielder, Alan Varela.
Yeah,
he is a very, very good number 6. For those that saw Porto against Arsenal, he bossed the game in the first leg all over their midfield. So
yes,
that's another shout. Again, if we're looking at players that because we know, this club's not going to go and spend loads and loads of money on one player. So if we're looking at like a different bracket, I think this guy or a Kone would be a shout for me. So yeah, just another name to throw out there. Varela at Porto.
I like
Sorry, Frankfurt Guna. I disagree. This is nonsense. Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus.
No, Saka was promoted, to be fair. They didn't
but he brought him through. That he focused on an attacking player, right?
Yeah.
So, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Jesus. He brought in attacking players. Listen, whatever you say to me, the final pieces of the puzzle was a defensive mid and a goalie, defensive players. The final pieces of the Liverpool puzzle were Van Dijk and Alisson, defensive players. The final pieces were defensive players. Look at Man City, Rodri. What's his name?
Ruben Diaz.
These were the final
Ederson.
pieces. I'm not saying just you neglect the defense, but I'm saying the final pieces were the key defensive players, because to win football, you got to score goals, man. Goals win games.
And you also, if you attack, you most likely, because like I said, attack is the best form of defense. If you suck at scoring, you probably suck at defending. It doesn't mean all the time.
To also win at this style of football, you need to be able to score a lot of goals. You need to go and do what Newcastle started the crave of doing again, which had been done before then, but been quiet before they done it. When Newcastle went through the stage with Keegan of you score 3, we score 4.
The entertainers.
This is the sort of football that I see that Ange wants to play. And we have not got the capability of playing you score 3, we score 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what defense we have, we're going to concede goals, no matter what, is how I personally see it. I don't see that changing too drastically because of the style of play. So we need those players that can score excess amount of goals to play this style.
So guys, in the chat, this is not Steve. Sorry,
sorry, stop going.
Guys, no, sorry. it's just because I've said something and people are saying I'm wrong. We Spurs. I never said Spurs don't have money to spend. I said Spurs do not have £600 million to spend. No, we don't. The owner, look, Joe Lewis has got the money to spend if he wants, right? But that means he's got to invest that money into the club from his own pocket, right? We know that's not going to happen, so let's not pretend that. What we actually have as cash available or money that we would generate through selling players is not 600 million. That is absolutely bonkers. There's certain. No, it's fine. No, because people in the chat are saying we've got lots and lots to spend. We don't. Spurs have got enough to spend to do big stuff. You know, Spurs can spend another 200 million if they want. We can get access to that. There's no doubt.
300?
I don't know about that, but there is some money that you can't touch, right? So let's say when you buy a player and you agree to pay in installments, like Dembélé, let's say we're paying £10 million a year over 6 years, for example. In that contract, there's caveats which says we will only agree to you paying these installments if there's certain cash or certain monies that stays in the club. Should you go down, we can access that. It's almost like security, right? So on the balance sheet, it might look like, oh, Spurs have got £300 million in the bank, but we're not allowed to touch it because that will break the contractual agreements for previous players that we've bought that we still owe the money on. Do you understand? So it might look like we've got it, but we don't. But we definitely have. Spurs should be able to spend 200 million every season. No worries. There's no doubt we should be able to spend that
every summer.
Yeah. Last year
How
we
much
spent
would you want to
220
spend?
million. Steve, we spent 220 million last year.
No, I know. No. I was
We sold Harry Kane for 100 though. We sold Harry Kane for 100 though.
Right. Exactly. That's why you should. Yeah. What I was always of the belief what I was always under the impression of with Tottenham is I thought your fans wanted you to spend 400 million because I remember seeing, and I see it all the time, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but like you guys you could spend, if it was possible, 500-600 million and you wouldn't be breaking FFP rules. I always thought from the outside that you Spurs fans wanted Levy to go ham hard as a motherfucker in the summer and drop 350 in the summer and shoot.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But we don't have that money. We don't have that money.
I mean, on the income
because of what you just explained about the what's it called?
Steve, no club has that money to do. Look at Arsenal last year. Why did they only spend 200 million? They don't have more. Like to physically have liquid cash where you can just say, right, buy. No club's got that money. That is insane. Chelsea,
Newcastle, we do.
Chelsea had to do 8-year installment plans with all their players, which was freaking madness because they never had that money up front. So can Spurs spend 200 million, maybe 220 each season after selling players? Absolutely.
The problem is we should be spending it on 3-4 players maximum. The problem is
quality,
like
quality, not quantity. Yeah,
that's like Spurs. The last few years we've spent upwards, you could say, approaching 200 million, but we spend it on like 7-8 players. That's the problem. It doesn't matter how much you spend if it's quantity over quality.
We've done it time and time again, and Ange said he's going to do it this year as well. I mean, on the income side, every match we've got the biggest income in football basically now.
And
that's what I heard, Dan.
As a disclaimer,
800 million, something like that.
As a disclaimer, when I mention players like in Europe and stuff, like
6 or 7 a game,
you can get, like when I mention Kona, you can get him for half the price of Gallagher. I'm saying I'm speaking in the first of all, I'm speaking with the Spurs hat on in the sense that how do we operate? How are we going to go about the business? Yeah. And secondly, just my opinion is that I believe there's much better value across Europe. Even if you're looking at the 80, 90 million pound players, I think you can get better versions of those guys across Europe than in the Premier League. So I think I just want to, it works both ways from what I'm saying.
Look, just because an owner has got the money doesn't mean the club has got the money, right? People can say,
Okay.
"Oh, Newcastle have got the money." No, they don't. The owner has the money. The club does not. If the owner puts the money into the club as a loan, then yeah. But then that money needs to be paid back to the owner, which then exposes you to a risk, a debt risk. And that could affect you borrowing money if you want to build a stadium. That could affect you if your owner decides to
Packs up
fuck
and
off
leaves
and says, "Right, I want my money back," and you haven't got it. So it does. It's not as simple as that. Or you could be like what Man City did, where they say, "Do you know what? We're just going to sponsor the Etihad Stadium. How much do we need? 400 million, whatever." Boom. Etihad is now sponsored by us. We own that company as well. And they just move money around their companies and make it look like different organizations
like how much
money in. But it's just the same guy. It's all owned by one family.
At the moment,
how much does Levy and Enoch? What is their net worth?
Mari knows this one better than me when it comes to Joe Lewis. Levy's probably a billionaire now, but Joe Lewis is worth lots of billions.
He's about 4 or 5 billion.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 billion.
That's not bad.
Tapstock it's just going up. It's in Florida. It's in other states. Tapstock here alone is over $1 billion, and that's not including the other Tapstock properties. Let's just say Tapstock just cut a deal with Disney months ago in regards to a Disney University, a campus. Huge deal. And they're building that campus. They are expanding Eastern Orlando. I mean, literally, Tapstock is just it's ridiculous. They're still going strong despite Joe Lewis having the ankle bracelet in regards to his tax evasion and his problems and stuff. But yeah, they're not crying. That's why I tell people, like, we're not a poor club. We're not oil money, but real estate, property development, property money done right.
But the difference is with everything, it's basically like what Stel said earlier. And here's an example. Newcastle, richest club on the planet. But chances are they will never ever make it with the rules that are now, unless they go and buy some very good buys for the money that they're allowed to spend and actually win something.
Dan, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. They're not the richest club. They have the richest owners.
Yeah, they're the richest owners.
That's what I'm about to go to. That's
okay. Because they're two different things. That's what.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
But their owner technically could throw the money in, and they've got the biggest owner in the world who could give them the money.
I don't think the rules allow it anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. But the reason Newcastle won't ever succeed in that manner, or highly unlikely, unless they win a couple of competitions straight to bring in the money, is because Newcastle will never, ever, ever be able to get the same stadium on a match day income, let alone anything else, than Tottenham. Why?
Not unless you build a new stadium.
No, even if you had a stadium twice the size of ours, you wouldn't be able to touch our money on that, because up north is, no matter how this sounds, up north is a poorer end of England compared to down south.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
In London, you can charge extortionate prices for tickets, 3 times what any other club up north can, and it will get paid for. Whereas up north,
Steve,
it won't.
When I went to Newcastle away, the cost of your food and drink is cheaper than Spurs. It is.
Yeah, that's what I
significantly.
Food and drink.
And that's
by the way,
isn't London overall
London.
more expensive to live in?
London, you can get a house 5 times the size of for half the price up Newcastle than you can in London. In London, you're paying nearly £500,000 for a flipping 1-bedroom flat.
Can I say blue is the colour? I don't know what you're talking about, right? Incorrect still. The 8-year contracts were done to get around FFP. What did I just say? I said you had to do these contracts because you didn't have the liquid cash to do it in one go. Because if you paid it in one go, you would break the rules. This is my point, because of these covenants that have to be put in place. You don't have that liquid cash in the bank to back up what you're doing. This way you can spread it over time. And the rules have now been changed because your chairman's actually been very smart how he's done it. He's found all sorts of loopholes. I give him credit, but they've changed the rules because of you. So when you say, once again, chatting about things you don't know, what are you talking about? I know what I'm saying. It is a fact. The reason
it all
you
got
did not.
changed because of what Chelsea did.
Are you telling me? See, the reason you did these 8-year contracts is so you don't spend £1 billion in 1 year. In fact, you've used a factoring company that have bought the players on your behalf, and you're paying the factoring company back. And I've read up exactly on what you've done, so I don't know why.
It sounds like you know more about it than he does, and he's a fucking Chelsea fan. How ironic.
Or he misheard what I said. One of the two. One of the two. Look, the point is this: Spurs have got more than enough to be able to compete and to be successful on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Our problem is the way we spend our money is a joke. Like the Solomons, the Veliz, the Werners, the Johnsons, right? They're not good enough. The Kulusevskis, even Pape Sarr, he's not at the level. He's not. Fact. He might be good one day. He's not at that level. He's not Rodri, bro. He's not De Silva. He's not Declan Rice. That's the competition. So the way we spend our money is it's very average. And then it's down to the manager to try and get above average results every single time. Which is what Dan said.
This is where I get the disconnect with Spurs sometimes. Again, outside looking in, where it's like, because I mentioned to you Schlotterbeck yesterday, and you were like, I don't think we could get him. But then Kvaratskhelia, you thought was kind of attainable more than Schlotterbeck, and I'm like, I don't know. I think it's the opposite personally, but that's the thing. Like, what players for you, Stel? What players do you want, like, Spurs to sign? Do you want them to sign like someone who's going to be a very, very good player? Like, would you take Zaire Emery from PSG?
I want players that come to Spurs and they hit the ground running without having this whole, let's give it a year. Let's be patient. Just Fly, right? You're talking yourselves into saying Levy's done the right thing. No. What? Levy's done the right thing financially and in terms of business and in terms of how we run as a corporation. I've always praised him for that. The footballing decisions he makes are nothing short of amateurish. It has been diabolical. 25 years proves it. That's the problem I've got with Levy. The footballing decisions, the people he employs to make the footballing decisions, he's out of his depth, Levy, or he just doesn't want it. He don't want it because he employed the best architects, the best designers, the best plumbers, the best plasterers, the best builders when it came to the stadium, the academy. I bet you our hotel will have the best architects, the best planning engineers, will have the best of the best. When it comes to the football, don't tell me we bring in the best of the best scouts, the best of the best players, the best of the best managers and back them and not sack them before cup finals, the best of the best medical team. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I'm not having that from anyone. No way.
What you're saying.
No chance.
Two things to echo what you're saying. When Tavistock, Enoch, when they do a project, it is quality meant.
Of course it is, because they want it, Mari, because they want it.
Yeah,
they want it.
In Orlando, only the big top people stayed there. The NFL Pro Bowl they had, President Trump, not President Trump, but a presidential candidate, Trump, staying at the Wave Hotel in Orlando. Tavistock owned. It lights up the sky. It's mint. It's beautiful. That hotel that's going to be outside the stadium is going to be remarkable. I spoke to a Tavistock employee who, because some of the employees get to fly over to London to the stadium. And I remember I was at the bar. It was St. Patrick's Day, and I was talking to them. And this is right before Joe Louis got in trouble. And I was talking to them, and they were like, "Oh, the stadium is so beautiful and stuff like that for a successful team." And I was just like, "What do you define success?" And to their amazement, when I told them that Tottenham hasn't won a trophy in 15 years whatsoever, they were surprised because they were like, whatever Tavistock does, whatever Joe Louis does, put the handprints on, it is done with excellent plumbers, excellent planning, excellent custodians. I mean, with excellence. And it's a travesty that our football team, our club, is not run with excellence the way they do with their projects. Like, I would always give Joe Louis and Daryl Levy their props in regards to their projects. It is there is no one that comes close to what they do in regards to projects. It is excellent. And it breaks my heart that my football club, that same ambition, it's not found. It's almost a damn shame. It's almost a damn shame. You take a drive around East Orlando, and you start thinking about the club, and it's just two different worlds.
How did we get onto this subject, by the way? Someone triggered me. Someone said something and I got
I
triggered.
don't know. The Chelsea fan who said you don't know what you're talking about with the 8-year.
Oh, God almighty.
And then I mentioned the Schlotterbeck Kvaratskhelia thing. No, but actually, I was going to...
Oh, Schlotterbeck, what a player. I watched it on my watch along, I was saying, for Dortmund, unbelievable.
Daniel and Mari, real quick, would you guys take Schlotterbeck? And do you think it's realistic that Spurs could get Schlotterbeck?
I'll take him. I rate him. I think
you think it's possible for Spurs to get him?
Yeah, as long as no other big club is going after him. I think
Dan?
Can't be anything worse than what we got. And as I say, like basically what Murray said, unless someone big goes for him.
But he's already at a bigger club. He's at a bigger club. Why is he going to lower his standards?
Mm.
Why would you leave? Why would you leave Borussia Dortmund to come to Spurs? Tell me the selling factor.
I mean,
bigger club, bigger league, and the only other attraction is London. Apart from that,
we're not a bigger club than Dortmund.
I don't think you're a bigger club.
You're right. On the business side, we're 10 times the size.
Well, we can pay more. That's about we can pay more in wages.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. When I say bigger club, there's bigger club as in football club, but these days you don't have to be a big football club to be a big club. These days, to be a big club, you need money. That is why Spurs are rated in the top 7 biggest clubs in the world, which we're not. We shouldn't even be in the top 30 for what we've won in the past 25 years. But technically, we are easily 5 times the size of Dortmund. Easily.
Financially, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Financially, Dortmund can only support themselves like Ajax by selling their players. That's the only reason Dortmund are even still here, because they've got such a good system of bringing in young players and selling them for epic money.
Dan, the only players we've ever got from Germany have been from Bayer Leverkusen. We got Berbatov and we got Heung-min Son, I believe, from Bayer Leverkusen.
2 pretty good signings, to be fair.
Right.
And Van de Ven.
Right.
Van de Ven from Wolfsburg,
Right. Both of those clubs, at the time we bought those players, were at a smaller level to Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all of those clubs, Wolfsburg and Bayer Leverkusen. So when we now look at the Bayern Munichs and the Dortmunds, I don't see how we attract them. I don't see how those level German clubs. There's an argument to say now Bayer Leverkusen have moved up a level, but if we look at Dortmund, who are the second biggest club in Germany after Bayern Munich, and the fact they're in the Champions League final, well, Dortmund are. I don't see how
the second biggest club.
They are historically.
It depends. Well, it depends on what you look at as a big club. Again, I agree with you on what we say a big club is. A big club is someone that has won things. But these days, sadly, it's about who's the bigger business. If I remember right, Leipzig have got more money than Dortmund, hands down.
Yes. Leipzig do have more money.
Champions League.
They've only got 2 pokals, though.
But Leipzig win nothing.
I agree. I'm agreeing with you.
Leipzig
but
have
money
2 pokals.
talks. Money talks at the end of the day. A lot of players
as well.
They go for the money. Money does talk these days.
But Steve, didn't Leipzig, before they'd won the 2 pokals in a row, they had won nothing? Like, you know, they were already formed in like 2008.
Yeah, Leverkusen until this year, Leverkusen had only won one trophy in their entire history.
2
1 or 2, I think.
2 trophies. UEFA Cup in '88 and Pokal in '93.
Guys, are we seriously saying 5th place Europa Cup Spurs with Brennan Johnson, Turbo Wiener, Richarlison? We can attract Borussia Dortmund's best players. Are we seriously?
I was going to say, I don't think Schlotterbeck comes to Spurs.
It all depends on what the player is like. If the player is money orientated, we could get.
If he's a loser, he'd leave Dortmund.
Well, yeah, because that's what I'm saying.
I'm being serious.
How many players move for money?
I wouldn't leave Dortmund for Spurs.
But money. No, you wouldn't. I wouldn't. But a lot of players out there, to them, it's a job. It's not as heart-made as a lot of people think.
If Schlotterbeck played for name another. Right, if he played for Hamburg, he comes to Spurs. He comes to Spurs all day long.
If he wants double the wages, he also comes to Spurs because Dortmund can't even touch us on wages.
To be fair, Dortmund actually over the years have increased their wage bill because they think.
Yeah, but they're nowhere.
No, I agree. Comparatively, it's still probably not. Actually, you know what? Since we're on the
Dortmund are basically the same as Ajax. If they didn't sell their players, they'd be in big trouble. That's why they sell their biggest players.
To be fair to Dortmund, though,
they're brilliant.
Dan, what I will say though about
guys, there is a reason Spurs do not and have not attract quality players from higher level clubs. Name me the last time a player joined us from a bigger club. So just so we can you can see my point of view. Take your time.
It's a good question.
Because it doesn't happen, dude. There's a reason. It's not about money. We're seen as a club that
Juventus,
Kulusevski
and Bentancur.
Bro, they were bench players, man. Come on.
Exactly.
Juventus.
But that was the.
They weren't even playing.
So, so you're saying, what player, a good player from a bigger
starting
club
player
left for
Steve,
Spurs?
a starting player that left a bigger club and came to Spurs. The only ones I can think of are Van der Ven. The only two I can think of are Jurgen Klinsmann and Van der Vaart.
Yeah.
These
Bentancur is
players
the
aren't going to come to Spurs because it doesn't make any sense on a football.
This is what I mean. They're not going to come to us.
So, the thing is, not all of these players. It is ultimately about the money in some way, but some of them they have integrity when it comes to what club they actually want to play.
Let's go to a majority then. Let's look at it from a different perspective, a different side then. Why is it Paris Saint-Germain?
Bale came back to us from Real after he'd won everything leaving us.
Why is it Paris Saint-Germain could buy all the players that they bought? Paris Saint-Germain weren't that big in France. They really weren't. They weren't that massive. They was only known because of Paris, but compared to other teams out there, they really hadn't won nothing to them. They had the money
in the 90s were.
But they still weren't the biggest club in France.
They weren't the biggest club in France, and it's still Olympique de Marseille. It's still.
I will say this.
Historic.
You're guaranteed the league
money
title.
Talks. Yeah, now you are. But when they started,
not guaranteed, but it's a high probability.
And PSG, strangely enough, have always
PSG spent £100 million on a signing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, now he's leaving
weird lineage
because he's out of night. They can't win the Champions League.
They have a Brazilian lineage starting from Pele from the 70s, so they've always gone for a home run, like swing big.
PSG have had Ronaldinho, Beckham,
So
Ginola,
have a soft spot for Paris.
Yeah, and they also lost all of them
because Pele had joined PSG, and also too Paris. It's easy. Like they're the only club in Paris, right? We don't include Paris FC.
Paris FC.
And so people want to live in that city. And so there is also kind of mystique to, hey, we want to be the star player to bring a Champions League, right? Because that's the only thing that's missing to Paris. Let alone they have the money, to entice those players.
The fact they have the money is the pure reason that Paris Saint-Germain gets them. The French league is probably the 5th biggest league in the world, if even the 5th biggest league in the world. The only reason anyone goes to the French league is because Paris Saint-Germain has got all the money they want to spend. It is the only reason.
Yeah, but you see, I've got
that's why France loses all the good ones. 1 second. But if we was willing to spend like they could, which we have got significant money to be able to pay a lot better wages than what we do, we'd pick players off of Dortmund easy. We'd pick other players quite easy. Because I'd say a lot more players these days are more money orientated than they are football orientated. Money talks at the end of the day. If there was no cap on it and Newcastle could do what they want with the money their owners have got, they'd go get all the best players in the world. Look at what Man City done as soon as they went and was able to spend a bit of their money before they got the rules. Who was the Brazilian they got? Who was rated one of the top ones at the time?
Robinho.
Yeah, and we know he failed, but at the time it was like, It was
Tevez
like,
as well,
oh my
Carlos
God,
Tevez.
how did
No,
Man
well, do
City
you know what it
go
was?
and do
Robinho
this?
thought he'd signed for United.
Yeah,
Sorry,
That's
guys,
the whole
hold on 1
is-
minute. No, Dan, 1 minute.
it was
When
down
Man
to
City's
money.
owners, when Man City's owners came in, they made it very clear: we want to win the Premier League.
Mhm.
We're here to bring trophies to Manchester City. We're here to make this club number
It's the
one.
same. Still,
So-
the Newcastle owner said the same when they
Right.
came.
So
in.
it's not just the money. They're going there in the belief that this is going to be the next big thing. I want to win trophies here, and they delivered on it. And with our owners, we could pay the money, but it's whether the player believes in where you're going with it. Because at the end
I
of the
agree.
day, if you're a top player, you want silverware. It's why Harry Kane's left us. It's why Bale left us, Modric, Carrick, and so on and so on. So yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, Dan. Money is important because it's their career and they only have like 10, 15 years. You've got to make as much as you can. But you don't want to look back as a professional footballer and say, I was one of the best players and I won fuck all. Like Kane is on
I
the brink
agree.
of doing, right?
Yeah.
You don't want that. So I think
That's
for Spurs, we've got to attract good players, top players, but from clubs that aren't from like the top 10 clubs in Europe. We've got to go that level below. Can we get someone off of Brighton? Can we get someone off of
Brentford.
I don't want to say it, but a Newcastle. I think we could get a player off Newcastle. I think that is possible. Whether it happens or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Newcastle might feel like that about us. Like the way Arsenal got a player off Man City because they're level almost. They can get a player off Man City like a Zinchenko, a Jesus. Not that it's worked out, but but for us, we should be looking at clubs just below us in Europe and in England. But what we do is, in fact, I don't know what we do, man. We go to Nottingham Forest. We go to fucking players that don't even play for Leipzig. We go to teams. Veliz. I never heard of the guy. I don't even know where he came from.
We go and get
Did
Brennan
River play?
Johnson for 47 million and then talk about winning titles next season.
We go to Everton, who are on the brink of relegation, to get Richarlison because there's a deal. There's a chance we can get him for £20 million cheaper. We're now looking at clubs who are in FFP trouble or players who've got 1 year left on their contract where the clubs are desperate to sell now. Let's go after them. They're the ones. It's like, no, you can't do it like that. It doesn't work because you're not getting the play you actually need.
Guys, I'm going to bounce.
Love, Charlie, man.
Take care, guys.
Peace,
Take
Charlie.
care.
People, make sure before you leave that you get this guy to 200 subscribes. There's the link down there.
It.
That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one. No filter. You can go to Charlie as well, the other Charlie, but no filter
Thank you,
FC. Just honestly, guys, he actually puts on really good shows. I'm not just saying it because I know him, but his shows are good. Go support him.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying, starting out again. So, yeah, hopefully it grows and hopefully I can, keep coming on shows like this. So, yeah, thank you, everyone.
Charlie used to run a Friday show for us before he ditched us, became a traitor and started his own platform. So,
well, I had my own platform before that. So, there you go.
I had to say, love Charlie, man. We love Charlie. Big up.
By the way, love
big up,
Charlie.
everyone.
Peace, bro. Peace, man. Have a good one. Peace, Charlie. So I actually had, I just looked up something, Dan. This website, Capology, which is a good website for player wages. So Borussia Dortmund, their average, and I converted it to pounds. Well, the website has it in pounds. Borussia Dortmund per week spend $2 million on their squad. Spurs spend $2.1 million. The average Dortmund player makes £69,000 a week. Spurs 73. So actually,
we're pretty level.
You're in and around the same range. You're a bit more. So actually, Dortmund do pay them maybe a little bit more
but if you actually change that onto capability and what their top player earns, now do that.
Well, our top earners we got off the books, which was Dembélé and Harry Kane.
Yeah, Harry Kane was our highest one at 300. Around 300. Was it 250, 300 he was on? Something along those lines, if I remember right. Give or take 50 grand. It's not much, is it?
So your highest paid player is Son, 190,000 a week.
Madison,
Madison's on 170.
Werner's on 165.
Now tell me what Dortmund's
Romero's-
highest ones are on.
So Dortmund's highest is Sebastian Aller, 182. Zula, Nicolas Zula, 165. Gregor Kobel, 148,000. Emre Can, 132. Zabitzer, 124. Royce is on 115.
They've definitely upped it.
Brandt is 115.
But if you look at what we could put on there, and we don't, that's the problem. We don't pay wages.
Right.
That is our biggest problem.
Yes.
And
Romero,
the only reason,
by the way, is on 165 for the personality.
and the reason Dortmund have stayed alive over the years is because they're basically the German version of Ajax. That's what
and
they
also they're
have
in the
been.
Champions League. Dan, they're also
And stuff
in the
like that
Champions
brings the
League
money in.
every
Yes.
single year. This run that
Majority.
they're going on has made them a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot of
They've-
money.
That is the only reason they've even been able to stay close to Munich at times, because of players they
Because
can
they're
sell.
always in the champs.
It's like what I say with Newcastle. If you lot start getting in the Champions League regular, or Aston Villa start doing it, you'll be getting excess income and be able to start making something. Unless you do
Because
that,
it gives you access to advertisement. It gives you
and
it's more
excess money
attractive.
coming in. Whereas when it comes to basic income, you will never ever come a mile. Newcastle would even struggle to match with Fulham on a match day income.
How many people are at Craven Cottage? What's the capacity?
Think of the
No,
prices.
Newcastle are more than Fulham. There's no way.
Yeah, but they'd be struggle to keep with them on match day tickets and that.
Fulham Stadium's tiny, Dan.
How many
they're more
people?
expensive
What's
than us,
Craven
aren't
Cottage
they?
capacity? Yeah, they
I
do
think it's
have the
about
most
20,
expensive.
25,000.
Let me look.
Okay, maybe wrong example, but what I'm saying is they could still charge double
I get your
ticket prices that Newcastle would. That's what I'm basically saying. And but if
I
you
agree
start
with
getting
that.
Champions League regular or Aston Villa do it regular and get the excess income coming in, then you can start spending the money you got.
Fulham has
Dortmund
25,000 capacity, by the way.
Yeah, Dortmund have had to sell their best
Just put a new
players
stand.
year in, year out to stay where they are, basically, or they've even
They
lost
get
them
rid
for
of
free.
one every summer. One.
Usually.
No less, no more.
And
Like
they usually make a
Bellingham
mint
was
on it.
this summer. Last was Haaland, but their recruitment. they've
Sancho.
stepped up.
Sancho.
the year before that, and then the year before that, there was someone else. But
But
are
that's
you,
how
wait,
they
so
survived.
yeah. No, Dan, are you surprised though that like Dortmund and Spurs are a few million off in terms of weekly wages and all that? Are you surprised? Like that it was that little of a difference, kind of?
I didn't think the difference was that little, but to what Spurs could and legally give on wages, we could run them under the books because they don't have nowhere near the income we do unless they keep finishing in the leagues. Apart from finishing in Champions League and that is their only income. That is what makes all the other leagues significantly smaller, bar their top 2 or 3 teams.
And also, what is an advantage to the consumer versus kind of a detriment to the club is in Germany, as an away fan or a home fan, tickets are $30, $40, $50
I've been to
at
Dortmund,
worst.
I've been to Dortmund a few times, Signal Indiana Park, €20 for a top place
That's
ticket
it.
there.
And the food is the food pricey or is it reasonable cost?
No, the food is pricey at anything, but nothing compared to what you would at Spurs. And to go and get, when I last went there at Dortmund to go and get a beer there, you're paying about €4. Whereas in Tottenham, you're paying about £9. That's when I last went, anyway.
Yo,
we've only got 15 minutes more because I need to wrap it up in the next 15 because I've got a massive game tomorrow that I need to be at for work. My team's on the brink of winning the league, and I can't not miss these last 3 games. We're in a really good position. We've turned it around. It's actually a wild end to the season for my team. So
congrats, man.
It's exciting. Well, say congrats if we win the next 3. But
yeah.
That said, I just quickly want to touch on the Man City game coming up on Tuesday for Spurs. So look, a small number of Spurs fans are saying that you're not a Spurs fan if you don't back the team and you should always want to win regardless. But I think it's fair to say the majority of Spurs fans, their attitude is, fuck that. There's no way we want Arsenal to win the league, right? You're a bigger supporter if you stop Arsenal winning the league than just winning a random game that makes us go from 5th to 5th. So do you think we will lose to Man City, or will Dr. Tottenham turn up and win when we don't want to win?
No.
Because I've decided I'm not going to the game on the simple grounds that
wow.
I can't go to a game that I want us to lose and to not be able to cheer if we score. And I can't cheer if we score. I
It's
can't do
awkward
it.
as hell.
Dan, I can't. Listen, I know fans. Listen, I was talking to a few fans today, like proper fans, right? The kind of fans that don't give a fuck. And they've made it very... If we beat City, they're going on the pitch. They're entering the pitch, right? There's a few. So,
Still, does this change if Arsenal lose tomorrow? Does this change?
Yeah, it changes. Yeah, it changes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Then
that's
I'll go
important
to
to
the
keep in mind.
Then I'll go to the game.
Daniel Levy
No,
is going to get
Tuesday's
involved
back
with
on.
this, I think, or he's already been involved with this. If he's got half a brain on him, Daniel Levy, he's going to have a word with this, and he's going to go down to that dressing room and say, "I don't give a fuck, boys. You lose this game." Because if we go, because if we go and win this game, and then that basically makes Arsenal win the league, Spurs are just going to go toxic on anything and everything and start just going off on one. And he's going to put 10 times more pressure on him than he's already got, just because it'll come with a package. I reckon Levy's going to come downstairs and say, "Boys, you're going to lose. There's your 10,000 bonus. Fuck off." That's what I reckon.
Do you think Levy cares? I don't think Levy cares that much.
That's half the joke on this one.
You know,
It would bring him excess trouble.
I don't think it's gonna matter. City's gonna pump us.
Yeah, they're gonna beat you anyways.
I mean,
course
that's the thing. They will pump us. It's yes, we want. Well, yeah, I guess we want to lose, but I don't even think it's a real point. I mean, I know some Arsenal fans. They already know, like, oh gosh, like it's over because they can't see us winning. And I know you have to play the game, but there is no way feasible the way we play that we're gonna beat them. Yes, we drew them in December. Now this is the only competition they have left.
Yeah,
They have
but
nothing else to play for but the league.
Yeah.
They know if they lose,
But Mari,
they know if they draw, they could
this
lose. Like it's
this is what we spoke about earlier. People will say the same thing, but it's the Premiership. Anything can happen.
yeah,
That's why it's the biggest and best league in the world.
yeah, anything can happen. Yeah.
But we
I don't
won't
see
win.
it, but like, yeah. I think
But we won't win.
I think I'm gonna and I mentioned the Arsenal Man United game because obviously that is significant. Keep in mind, with a crowd at Man United, Arsenal have not won at Old Trafford besides the FA Cup in 2016. But we're just looking at Premier League. Arsenal have not won at Old Trafford when there's a crowd since 2006.
They don't have a great record there.
They have a terrible, yeah. So, and even if I count the win during, and I'm not saying it doesn't count, but it's obviously way different with the crowd. They've won 4 times. Arsenal have won 4 times at Old Trafford since 2000, and they've played each other obviously every year in the league and here and there in the cup.
It is one of their bogey places.
There is a possibility, guys, that Man United don't lose tomorrow. And then what happens with this whole we want Spurs to lose to City conversation?
I'm still quite happy that we lose just to make it safe that Arsenal don't fucking win it. My season's already done and dusted, mate. As long as Arsenal don't win it, I couldn't care less.
If you guys were in good form, would you care or no?
Yes. I never want Arsenal to win the league.
Yeah. I'd give up. I am that bad that I would
That's
give up full
crazy.
space for Arsenal
That
not
is
to win the league.
crazy.
That is how bad I am.
Steve, when we got to the Champions League final, Arsenal got to the Europa League final in the same season. They played Chelsea. We played Liverpool.
Yeah.
It was an all-English final for everything. Arsenal fans said, go on AFTV, the receipts are there. They all said, we will gladly lose the Europa final to Chelsea as long as Spurs don't win the Champions League.
That summarizes both those clubs. I'm gonna just say
it summarizes the hatred.
No, I know the hatred, but
it's the tribalism.
Are you a Tottenham Hotspur supporter or are you an Arsenal hater? You could be both. I'm just saying, but
I'm
like,
both.
But by supporting, but hold on, by supporting Spurs, I hate Arsenal.
Yes, I know it's a byproduct, but what's the main focus? And I'm not saying you're a fake fan for your opinion, but I'm just picking. I'm just.
Well, I can either want us to beat Man City so we can go from 5th to 5th, or I can say, right, we're going to be 5th, whatever, lose to City and stop Arsenal winning the league. So I'll take it. Doesn't affect us.
Do you think? By the way, do you think 4th is unattainable?
Yeah, we ain't getting 4th place. No way.
I thought Villa have been. I thought Villa have been locked up in that spot.
Villa only need to win one more, don't they?
They need 2 points.
Yeah, Villa will get that. So either way, and plus, I don't think I'd want Champions League because we get absolutely battered in it anyway at the moment.
Steve, if we win the Champions, if we won the Champions League that year, Arsenal fans will forever have to live listening to us say, "Champions of Europe." You'll never sing that because they've never won it. They've never won that competition. We will own them. We will own them for it. However, if they go and win the league 5 years into a project when we had Poch and Kroenke's only been there 6 years, full control, we are so in the mud. They're so going to throw it in our faces that, where do we go? Where do we as a club go from this? Like, literally, where do we
exactly?
So, yeah, no, but okay. So here's the other problem. I gave the situation of catching Villa. Now here's the thing: Newcastle. If we win our 2 games, we can finish on 63. What happens if you do on the final day somehow lose to? Let's say you lose the Man City game because you want them to, so it happens. I'll grant you that. What if you lose to Sheffield United? Hypothetical. I don't think it'll happen. Hypothetical. Let's say you lose both of. Let's say if you lose both of your games, you're on 63. Let's say Newcastle don't bottle it. We will. Let's say Newcastle, we get our 2 wins away to Man United on Wednesday and Brentford away. Let's say so we're on 63 and we have the goal difference by 10 on you guys. So let's say we pip you guys to 5th and then you end on 6th. Now the FA Cup final spot. If Man City don't win the FA Cup and Man United do, you guys miss out on Europe in 6th if all the things I said happen. So what if you have? There's a possibility you have no Europe next season.
Steve, I would rather finish mid-table.
So what?
No Europe than Arsenal win the league, bro. Do you not get it? Do you not register yet?
So you don't want? So wait, you think it's better for Tottenham to be without Europe, possibly, than in Europa?
Yes. And Arsenal would do the same against us.
If it was Arsenal would do the same against us.
If it was the situation the other way round, Arsenal would do the same. If it was the other way round,
that's crazy.
They would do the same.
All I give a fuck about is my team. I hate other teams. I hate Roma, Sunderland. I hate them.
You haven't got the same. You haven't got the same sort of problem.
What do we say to Arsenal fans? What do we say to Arsenal fans that say, we won the league because you beat City. You won us the league. Because of you, we're champions. How do you live with that?
You don't.
We already live with them saying we won the league at White Hart Lane, which they did. Now we're going to add that on top of it. Bro, there's only so low you can go before you just want to stop supporting Europe. Football.
You throw away, and again, all those things, Man United would have to win. Sheffield United would have to beat you guys. We would have to win and all that stuff.
Steve.
How many times have we got to tell him?
It would. Let me describe this different. I'll describe it to you to a way that you might understand this now. Yeah.
Right.
Take that season where we could have won that Champions League. Yeah. If you were to give Arsenal a choice of you win the Europa Cup and Spurs win the Champions League, or Spurs don't win the Champions League and you get relegated, before you've said Rella, they're already relegated and come back up the next season. That is how deep Arsenal would go. I don't give a fuck what their fans say. They would do it. Reason being, because that Champions League, they've never won it. It's the only thing that stopped. It's the only thing that you can argue with an Arsenal supporter where you can say, yeah, you haven't won anything. We have. You've just won more of it, mate. But you still sit on our table because you can't sit up there with the real big boys that have won the Champions League. It's the only thing we have on them.
Right.
Only thing. If they go and do this, we're fucked. Yeah. Basically.
By the way, let's say that my situation played out, and let's say Man City do win the league. Let's say Arsenal lose to Everton again, another hypothetical. Let's say all the things I said are going to happen. You guys lose your next two. Newcastle win our next two. But Arsenal lose on the final day to Everton. And Man City win the league anyways. Ange gets fired if y'all don't make Europe. And Man United win the FA Cup, so that means 6 don't get Europe.
I don't think
you
gets
guys end up
fired.
at 6.
I don't
If
think
you
he's
don't
going to get fired.
if you guys finish 6th and don't get Europe, Ange doesn't get fired.
No,
I don't think he will.
no.
Because the expectations were, well, our expectations were 8th. I don't know what's the club's
What are
expectations.
Levy's?
I don't think he gets fired. Now
Levy's was
I would
another
say-
£3 million bonus, which he's got.
Yeah, now I would say if we had lost to Burnley, City, and then something happened with Sheffield, then it would have been like,
got
oh
that.
wow, that would have been like, uh-oh. But I think the only time that Edge would probably be out the job is if we really start bad the next season. He's gonna have this transfer window.
Okay, so you
It
think
would
he
have to
sealed
be-
it. All right.
Yeah, I think if by December or January, if it's not looking good, like year 2 or progression, then his job could be in trouble. But then again, it's what Alex has been saying. Even if he's in trouble, is this club going to do like Arsenal and support Arteta? But I always put a disclaimer. The fans were not in the stadium when Arteta was in trouble because of COVID. And, fans could put that pressure on. So he benefited in regards to COVID not having fans in that stadium when they were struggling. But, I will say this. Next year, I think Daniel Levy and the board would expect Champions League. I think
Other point, I
if we
want to
don't get
see Man City do the 4 to shut up Man U as well. That'd be quite funny.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That'd be
No, I'd
quite
love to
funny
see
as
that,
well.
and everybody would cry about if Man City won the league. Everyone would cry like little bitches. And it's
I'd be
hilarious.
quite
Because
happy
it
with it.
reeks of jealousy.
I don't want Arsenal to win anything because then at the end
But
of the
they
season,
won't.
we can say to those crybabies from Woolwich, you've done exactly the same as what Poch did at Spurs. Nothing except for an FA Cup in the first season. You are Poch with an FA Cup. And the history books will tell you that. And when we look back in many years to come, we will say that team did nothing. Just like we get told that. Just like we get reminded, just like I remember when Poch was here, right? And we used to say, we've got the youngest team, we've got the best goal scoring stats, we've got the best defensive stats, we've got the best goal difference, we've got the best record of this in Europe, blah, blah, blah. And all we ever got told, all we ever heard was, where's your trophies? So now I'm hearing Arsenal fans, we've got the best young squad, we've got the best goal difference, we've scored the most goals, we've got the best defense, we've got the best attack, blah, blah, blah. Show me your trophies. And if they don't win the Premier League, then at the end of the season, they are exactly the same as what we were. And you know what? They can't say shit to us. So it is of the utmost importance that we fucking lose to City, Steve.
Unless Arsenal lose tomorrow.
Must lose to
Unless
City.
Arsenal lose tomorrow.
Yes. Or draw. Yeah.
Either way, as long as Arsenal don't win that league, whatever way you want us
They
to
aren't going to win they are not going to win the league. I will stake my entire
Don't say that, man. You never know.
reputation.
You never know.
No,
Stranger
I
things
do
have
know.
happened, mate.
When the pressure is applied on Arsenal, they crumble. Why am I acting like the Spurs fan here? By saying the truth.
Because I've seen stranger things happen. It's the Premier
I've
League.
seen stranger things happen than you guys got.
But no, Arsenal do bottle it when it comes to
They
the
do,
crunch.
and
But
they
they drove
will.
it further this time.
It's Man City.
Steve, Steve,
They'll
do
beat
you know
you
the
guys
arrogance
anyways on
of these
Tuesday.
people? They've already planned their parade. They've already planned their parade.
No, this is exactly why they won't win it. Do you see Man City doing foolishness like this? Hell no. Do you see them act with that arrogance when they have won just some FA, which is important? I would love FA Cup in Newcastle. I'm not saying it. But for Arsenal, that's not good enough. They are acting so arrogant by doing that. That actually gives
Because
me
they
even
always
more
do
reason
that.
tomorrow. Yeah, and
They always
Dan,
do
what have they done for the past 20 years? Not win the league because they act like
I know,
that.
but they still live on their history.
I personally think Arsenal smash Everton last game of the season, and I think
I do too.
and I think Man City beat West Ham. Yeah. I also think Arsenal are going to tear Man United to fucking pieces. I think they're going to destroy Man United. I don't see this.
Yeah.
There's going to be a draw. The curse of Old Trafford, mate. I don't see it. This United team is the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen a Man United team this bad,
isn't it?
In about 25 years, bro. They are. This is the Man United that Alex Ferguson took over when he first joined. This is how bad they were. This is the shit show that he took over, right?
If not worse.
If not worse. Arsenal are going to bitch slap them. It's going to... It's all down to Spurs Man U. Spurs City. That is the game that will decide the league for me. That is the game. That's why I honestly believe. I hope I'm wrong. I hope United get a miracle.
So wait, will you go to the game if Man United, by the miracle of miracles, take points away from Arsenal tomorrow? Would you go to the Spurs game?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, just making sure because that game tomorrow is important.
If it comes down to that game,
I can enjoy the game. I can enjoy the game. I can celebrate the goals. But I can't go to a game that we must lose. How do you celebrate the goals if we score one? How do you?
I guarantee you, at Tottenham still, it will. As all you'll hear around that stadium, 99% of it is "Come on, City." That is how bad it is going to be. You will hear the inside fans cheering for Man City, and if Man City
you imagine going to a game?
I bet you see a majority of Spurs supporters stand up and give it some of that. If City go and score against them.
Dan, after the North London derby when we lost, I went to the pub. Right, we thought, let's go get a drink and I'm going to go home.
Mm-hmm.
When the pub is packed, everyone's drinking, socializing, and they got the football on. And it was Man City. It was Nottingham Forest, Man City. Man City went 1-0 up. I'm in a pub full of hardcore, diehard Spurs fans. Everyone's drinking. Man City scored, and the entire pub in Tottenham started singing "Blue Moon." I'm like, what are we doing? We've just lost the North London derby, and we're singing the Man City anthem, and we're in Spurs kits. This is twisted. So Dan's right. We are going to sing Man City songs.
That is how deep it will go, Steve. Believe it when we tell
I believe you.
That
wouldn't be how I do things.
I mean,
that's just me. That's just
rivals, man. We want these things to happen, man. Like, I can't wait for the day I go to see a Boca River, and the stories that I've heard, just the pure hate that Boca Junior fans, and for me as a Boca fan, the hate that we have for River. It's funny when I was in the plane flying out to Costa Rica on Thursday night, and I saw a guy who had an Argentina jersey. I acknowledged him, and we smiled. I said, I'm going actually go to Buenos Aires. I'm going to La Bombonera in late July. And so I told him, and he looked at me. It was disgust. So I'm a River fan. I was like, oh, okay. But the rivalry, like, I want to do a special on the other channel, The Pitch, about great rivalries and the River Boca. Those who know rivalries, it's up there with the classical, even worse because of the violence and the pure hate. But what makes that rivalry so great is both teams are uber successful, like successful. It's not like you have rivalry.
The Libertadores final, bro.
Yeah,
that was the pinnacle of it.
That was played in Madrid. I cried. I literally cried because we lost River. Like, I'm like, those fucking
you can hold
scumbags. And so rivals would root for their team, their own team to lose, for not the other team to win. That's how much they hate.
Murray, can I be honest with you here, right? Honestly, I'm not saying this as a joke. I genuinely mean this, right? If I was Pep Guardiola, I would be calling up Ange Postecoglou and saying, Ange, let's do ourselves a favor. You want to go down as a bit of a hero, good ending to your season, right? You know what you got to do, right? I don't need to mention it to you, Ange. You know what you've got to do.
You know what Ange would say? Fuck off, mate. That's what he's literally
Tell me,
saying. You know
tell
that.
me,
You know that.
No.
I'm gonna say, I'd say to him, tell me how we can make it look so it's legit, right? There's a couple of substitutions you could make that would make my life easier. There's a couple of players you could maybe start that would make my life easier. Let's agree. This is a win-win situation. Do what you got to do. I'll do what I got to do. I end up happy. The fans end up loving you because you've done the right thing. And let's just make it look like it was all, normal. Mate, I would be making that fucking phone call if I was Pep.
Yeah,
I would be making that
Ange
phone
would be
call.
like, Ange would be like, fuck off, mate.
Yeah, all right. And if Vicario goes and throws the ball in his own net in the last 2 fucking minutes or last 2 fucking seconds, he's going to be the greatest goalkeeper that ever walked Spurs. So it doesn't matter, mate. As long as we lose.
I just hope nobody is under this disillusion that professionals are going to stop being professional for fans. I just hope that's clear.
No, but this is professional. This is
bollocks.
professional. You're putting your fans first. This is very professional.
Fuck
You're putting
that.
the fans first.
Fuck that.
What do you
Are
mean?
you kidding me?
No. What do you mean?
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's
They're
happened
professional
many a time,
footballers.
mate.
They
Believe
get paid
it,
190
it's
grand a week to lose.
Spurs fans don't want to win this game.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You're paid to do a job.
But no,
Win
it
games
does
for
matter.
Tottenham.
No. But hold
No,
on.
it doesn't.
You-
No, it doesn't.
I just
Not
said
in a
to you.
professional's mind. Not in a professional's mind. Never.
This is the professional. The professional thing to do is look
No.
after your customers. We are the
No, it's
customers. Look
not.
after us.
No.
Yes, it is.
For a change.
No.
For a change.
No.
Steve,
Not to Levy.
if Levy, right, wants to have a
hope you
calm
guys win
situation,
so
he needs to
Mhm.
be on board as well, mate.
That's what I'm
Dan-
saying. He's already
Dan
come
said this.
downstairs.
You win so bad.
Yeah.
I hope you guys win that.
It's right
effing
though, isn't
game
it? Still, I bet you
so bad
Levy's
on
already
Tuesday.
been downstairs and said, "Ange, you know what you
He
I
must
got
don't
to do
think
here,
he
mate.
cares.
He must have.
No. I hope
It'd
you
make his
guys
life
win.
easier."
Hold
I
on.
hope you
Hold
guys
on.
win.
You
won't.
think Daniel Levy wants to see Arsenal win the league doing it the trust the process
Right way.
way when we've fucked up every process?
I don't
Mate,
think he cares.
It is a nightmare for Levy if Arsenal win the league. He does not need
I
that.
don't think he cares.
Bro, he will if fans start switching.
I don't think your fans will ever wake up from Levy-itis. I'm sorry. I hate to
Listen,
No,
man,
to you,
but it will
this
still give
will-
him more trouble than he needs. I agree, but it will still give him more trouble than he fucking needs.
Yeah, and
Trust
you guys,
me.
weren't you guys in trouble last year, the Brentford game where his wife was tapping his knee or something?
All right,
I know
let
this
me
is
give
worse.
you
I
another
know this is worse.
example.
I know this is worse. I know that.
Let me give you another example then of 2 teams I can counter on this. Take Inter Milan and AC Milan. If AC Milan knew that they had to basically lose the game so that Inter Milan don't lose the league, it's not even that whether the players want to do it or not. They'd have already had the fans on their doorsteps telling them you're going to lose that game.
That's
If it
Italy.
happened- Yeah.
You
I'm
know
just saying
Italy
it's football
moves
as
a
a
bit
whole.
different. I do.
Oh,
get
yes,
by
it
the way.
does.
I'm just curious.
If it was Napoli and Lazio or something like that, you know,
They already
Look at this
did
comment.
it's
some.
happening.
They already fucking did. So
Look at his comment. I hope all
I
of
already
Steve's
did.
125 teams lose.
yeah, I mean, Newcastle drew, Rangers lost, so I'm already 0 for 2. Montreal beating Inter Miami right now 2-0, but yeah. So that already
Bro, every fan channel I've looked at, even the happy clapper ones, they're saying, please don't beat City.
Even the
Like,
happy
everyone-
Even the
They're-
happy
even,
clap-
even the happy clappers are saying, please don't beat City, right? This is what I'm saying to you.
Don't do it.
That if Pep is smart, he'd be on the phone to Ange, he'd be on the phone to Levy. There'd be a three-way conversation going on here. A little something to be arranged. And like Dan said, if Vicario throws the ball in his net accidentally in the last minute, the whole stadium sings Vicario, Vicario. We'll
It's
sing
true.
his name. He'll be happy. Levy will be happy. Ange will have all the fans on his side. Pep gets his title, and fuck Arsenal. Everyone's a winner. Everyone's a winner.
So we need to lose. Simple as that.
I hope. I mean, Man City will win the game.
Yeah,
I know
I mean,
that.
sure they would anyway. But the whole point of it is,
Even if you guys wanted them to win, I
Steve,
don't think you do. But I hope.
even
I
if
do
we
hope
go,
you win for chaos.
even if we have a better game than City and we lose to them in the last 2 minutes or whatever, no matter what way that game goes, Arsenal are going to use this in their favour of The only reason we didn't win that league is because Spurs threw it on purpose. So fuck it. Let's throw it on purpose.
Are you guys are you guys nervous? Are you guys nervous about the game?
Yes.
Wait, why?
So.
I'm not nervous. I know we get pumped.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. Because we're Spurs and we do Spursy things.
Like when you're supposed to.
Listen, to be honest with you, we don't actually need to fix the game. Just start Skip, start Højbjerg, start Chicken Royale, start Ben Davies, start Dane Scarlett.
He needs a game off or two because he's tired.
Yeah. Start the usual suspects, and you know what? They'll fucking do the job anyway. They'll do the job anyway.
He's gonna play his best team. They'll do
the job for us anyway, naturally, without even trying.
Still, I think.
Have you guys ever been in this scenario?
Rob has just said it perfect. It is who we are, mate. Simple as that. Deal with it.
That's who we are.
It is what it is.
It is. It's who we are. This is who we are, mate. He's right.
This
is so sad. This is one of the saddest conversations I've ever had in the history of YouTube. That I'm saying, please lose.
One of the saddest...
Please do whatever you can to lose. Fix it, rig it, put the shit players on, cheat. I don't care. I just don't care.
This is one of the worst conversations you've ever had in your life. Never mind football. Never mind YouTube. This is one of the worst conversations, the saddest conversations you've had in your life.
It's one of those situations.
I've had some heavy nights out back in the day. I've had some.
It's one of those situations, Steve. If you don't laugh, you cry. Yeah. So you got to laugh at this and laugh with it. So bollocks up the city. Simple as that.
Yeah. For one day, I think every Spurs fan should turn up with a City top. Personally speaking,
you know what? That's what I was about to say. I bet you half of them turn up with a fucking City top.
We should. We should have a tifo as well. A Man City tifo in the South Stand.
That would be awesome.
Wait, have Spurs ever been in this scenario before?
I don't think it's ever
where you wanted them
like
to
this.
lose. Have any of you guys ever wanted Spurs to lose a game?
I don't think so.
Never.
Not quite like this.
So.
Well, clearly never, Mari, because we're here.
I can't
remember
think like this.
We've wanted.
Not
when I've wanted Spurs to lose. No.
This is the first this is the first weird predicament, but it's not wanting them to lose. I just know they're going to lose. Because City, because City
with Steve,
we can't keep a clean sheet against Burnley.
You can't keep but to be fair, you've scored in 33 out of your 36 Premier League games.
But winning here, Steve, just leave it, mate. Winning is not an option here.
Oh yeah. Sorry. They're right. This one at Old Trafford, when we went 1-0 up in that game as well. I think Les Ferdinand scored. We had to lose at Old Trafford for them to win the league to stop Arsenal. I think it was 99. Yeah.
But again,
Man United won the trap, so you lost. You lost to Man United. Right?
But we knew we were going to lose that though. We knew we were going to lose that. We knew it.
Okay. Was the gap between that Spurs team and Man United the gap between this Man City team and the Spurs team? Was the gap bigger or smaller between the two teams?
I don't know. The Man U team back then was
about the same. About the same.
Oh wow!
Do you know what? If anything, I'd say the gap back then was even bigger than it was now.
So you guys were
not by
that
far,
99 Spurs team was.
Yeah, no, he's right. We were proper dog shit in the 90s, man. We were like proper. Mind you, that year we won the League Cup. We won the League Cup that year.
Oh, there you go.
But we were still absolute shit.
Listen, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. This conversation is depressing me. Lee Anderson, thank you for that little donation there at the end. Appreciate you. Also, thank you so much to Bedknobs and Broomsticks for your super chat earlier on. I want to say thank you to everyone that was a guest on the show tonight. Big up to No Filter FC Charlie. Make sure you like and subscribe. Strasbourg Steve, make sure you like and subscribe. Dan Hotspur Hood, make sure you like and subscribe.
Cheers,
Brian Daigle, Tottenham on Tour, make sure you like and subscribe. Guys, we'll be back on Monday with our Monday night show. And I'm actually going to be going live from Fulham on Thursday night because I'll be at the Under-21s Cup final. I will be at the game. If you want to go, it's £3 a ticket. If you're interested, let's go and support the Under-21s in the Cup final. I like youth football, so This is right up my street. Plus, it's Spurs, and it's probably the only trophy I'm going to see in the next 20 years if we win it. Also, the Spurs ladies tomorrow against Man United in the FA Cup. Let's big up the Spurs ladies. It's live on TV. Let's hope they lift the trophy as well. Hopefully, the women win, the kids win, and the first team loses on Tuesday. Dan, final words, bro, and I'll wrap it up.
Final words. Come on, City.
Steve.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Mari.
Actually, no, I want you guys to lose because I want to play.
You saw me standing.
Oh, my Lord.
This is bad, but it's so true.
Horrible. This is horrible.
Listen.
No.
I'll leave it on. I'll leave it on a positive. Come on, the Spurs ladies. Come on, the under 21s, guys. Thanks for watching tonight. Appreciate all of you. Hope you have a good Sunday tomorrow, and fingers crossed, United perform a miracle, and then we don't have to worry about Tuesday. So
there you go.
Come on, the Spurs.
Come on, the Spurs.
Yeah, nice.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.